Day. Just got myself a haircut. By that I mean I cut my hair. Let's see if I can get my phone. Whoa. Let's see if we can. That's not very professional now. Let's see if we can get the phone positioned correctly so you guys can come hang out. What y'all think? What y'all think about that? Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty decent enough positioning for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. To be honest with you guys, I didn't have a pure message for today, but I figured while I got a little bit of time, we're going to come hang out. So let's see if we can get anybody in here and hang out for maybe like an hour or two. And obviously, as usual, when you guys drop through, I'd appreciate if you guys could give me a little info on how I'm sounding. This is the bad boy I'm wearing today for anybody who's coming on through. I don't normally wear this a lot. I'm starting to try to do it a little bit more because I don't want to keep wearing my expensive fragrances on a more regular basis. Anybody who's dropping through, though, good morning. Welcome. We're going to be talking about fragrances as per usual. I'm about to put on this. Golly, I love this one. I know I just put on a lot. I know, but at the same time, I just kind of really want this to stick to me today. These Mancera fragrances are pretty good at sticking to people anyway, but let's see if we can wait and get a couple people in here before I really get cranked up. As usual, I don't want to talk too much until I've actually got enough people able to chat, able to shoot the breeze. But welcome, Andrew Lane, aka Douglas Moon, here shooting the breeze. What's up, RIP? Good morning. By the way, just wanted to ask you again so I can verify what your actual name is. I'm sorry for forgetting. I actually can't even remember where you're from, and I know that sounds awful because we've talked a handful of times now. But definitely, if you can please do so, please let me know so that way we can I can be a little bit more, respectful. But thank you for being here, buddy. Good morning. As you can see, I just got done shaving my head. I probably look ridiculous because I do not have the best head shape in the world. How have I been? Sammy, what's going on, buddy? Good morning. Thank you for being here. Honestly, I'm doing pretty good today. It's Friday. Like I said, I had the day off. I'm getting paid for the day because, again, stuff going on with my family, my grandma. Real quick before I keep talking, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me good. So I tried to put the microphone down here compared to usually putting it up here around my neck. So if you guys could verify for me real fast how that's going, that would really mean a lot to me. I'm also going to step out here real quick. Not sure if you guys can still hear me or not. I'm going to step out here, see if I can get a little bit better lighting for you guys this morning. I still don't have an actual professional lighting setup just yet, but I'm working on that. My name is Eli from North Carolina. You can hear me pretty good. Fantastic. Well, Eli, thank you for being here. Not that you probably know what this is, but me and my wife have been watching the Righteous Gemstones lately, and Eli is the main character's name, if you know what that is, but you probably do. But Eli, thank you for being here. It's actually really exciting to have another North Carolina person. But yeah, as usual, talking about fragrances, all that stuff for anybody who pops through and just to hang out and everything. But just want to catch up with you guys and do a little live this morning. See what you guys got going on in y'all's world. I actually pretty happy to be wearing this today. I've been trying to appreciate Mancera fragrances more than I have been because if anybody's been keeping up with my channel, for a while now, I've started accumulating these dupes and clones, like a little bit of, I don't really like using the term Middle Eastern perfumery because even though a lot of dupes and clone brands are based out of the Middle East, specifically the United Arab Emirates, it doesn't mean that Middle Eastern perfumery is just going to be cheapies and dupes. For example, one of my favorite brands of all time, Amouage, they're from the Middle East. They're made in Oman. So I'm about to head to the beach. Heck yeah, buddy. Me and my wife are actually going to the beach tomorrow. So she took off Wednesday since she had to work on my birthday last Sunday. She took off. Well, we already had this weekend off, so we're going to go down to the beach tomorrow and have a good time. I don't want to ask, what beach are you going to, Eli? Hope you have a fantastic time, by the way. So I don't know if I'm going to be a part of your journey while I'm hanging out here, but either way, it's awesome to have you guys here. So, but yeah, like I was saying, again, you guys, as always, leave me your comments. I interact with you guys, and we're just going to hang out. But I figured, you know what? From now on, I'm going to be doing this as often as I possibly can so I can keep up with y'all and just have fun. I've been realizing this has been really meaning a lot to me, more than I thought it was. Like, I already knew that doing these lives and talking with y'all was important and answering people's questions was important. But I also thought I'm going to start doing some readings as well during these live streams because teaching you guys a little bit about the history of perfumery, as I've already been trying to teach you guys about modern perfumery. With that being said, there is a book that I recently got my hands on a couple months ago. It's called The Art of Perfumery. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a pretty good take from a professional. The man who's behind Terra Dames, he wrote the book basically trying to explain a little bit about the history and development about how fragrance went from what it used to be into what it is now and how like scent profiles changed amongst the way that they push things on people as far as marketing is concerned. So as you can see, good morning, Euphrasia. Super happy to have you again here. Sorry to ask, but how's your leg? My leg's doing really well. I'm doing really great. I just started this about 5 minutes ago, so pretty much just hanging out. Happy to have you here though. And you're always welcome to ask me whatever you'd like to ask. But yeah, like I said, checking out Rose's Greedy again today, because when I first got this, I was wearing a stronger fragrance because I had this delivered to a friend's house. At the time, I believe I was wearing Oud Silk Mood. So when my buddy Sam gave me this bottle of Rose's Greedy, it smelled amazing because it's that very garden floral rose type of profile, which is interesting because the official Mancera website claims that this has an opening of fruits. It says it has mandarin. It says it has coconut. But you don't smell it. You don't smell it. What do you think of Grease, Charnel? Tiles, first of all, thank you for being here. I personally have not smelled that myself, so I'm not going to, I think you meant to say shouldn't. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to give you any thoughts on fragrances I haven't smelled myself. Thoughts on Chrome by Azzaro? I think it's good. It's not my personal flavor of fragrances. At the end of the day, it has pretty decent performance for like a cheaper fragrance, but if you want something nice, something for the summer, I think Chrome by Azzaro is a pretty good choice, especially for a cheaper price point. And Forsaken as well, thank you for being here. What's the most value money for under $50 that I have? If I had to say most value, I go back to this a lot because even though this is just like a single profile, if you're not wanting that Althea type of feel, that vanilla pod feel, suggesting for you guys Liquid Broom is not really going to work for you, especially if you're not into the orange blossom over the top notes. But for under $50, I'd say this has been a pretty good powerhouse so far as performance is concerned. So if somebody was to ever ask me about something under $50, that's just an overall good value, I'm going to go with Liquid Broom most of the time, just because I love the way it performs. And, you know, I think as well recently I'm starting to feel more comfortable, even though I don't know Cal Cologne personally. I've never spoke to him. Maybe one day, who knows? And I'm also not into hyping up fragrance TikToker and YouTubers fragrances unless they're actually decent. I will say that these bad boys from the Rayhan line, Rayhan does pretty decent lower price point fragrances and stuff. So if you're looking for something pretty decent that's under $50, it's actually pretty good. Cal Cologne, I keep telling people that for me, this is very, very much, actually, you know what? I realize now really what this smells like to me. I've been saying that it's like a mixture of Bleu de Chanel Parfum and Black Orchid, but as I'm really getting my nose on it, Cal Cologne's new Rayhan, what is it, Tiger? That's it. Holy cow. I finally found exactly what this is. First of all, let me answer you guys real quick, make sure I'm keeping up with your comments. It's BDK. Do you have any BDK? I personally do not. At some point I will. Mostly I've got Xerjoff, Amouage, Tom Fords, PDMs, all that stuff, Dior and everything. I'm still working on building a collection as I go, but I'm not going to give you any reviews, like I said, on anything I haven't personally gotten my nose on for periods enough time to give a good review. Best summer for under $20. Best summer perfume for under $20. Ooh, that's a tough one. Under $20, you're not going to find a lot. Like $40 is a more reasonable thing to work with. Under $20, you're better off maybe just going and getting something like a Davidoff Cool Waters. The original, again, it doesn't perform as well, but you can keep it in your pocket. But I'm pretty sure you can find Davidoff Cool Waters for a decent enough price. But is Versace Blue Jeans worth the purchase? I appreciate the interaction. Well, Forsaken, I appreciate you being here. Love talking to you guys. Redbeard, real quick, absolutely. Had to go. I hate having hair. I have very bad eczema. Just throwing it out there to anybody who's joining in. I don't just talk about fragrances. I talk about whatever I feel like, because I like to have a community where we communicate just about life and stuff, as you see in the title. If I lose viewers, I lose viewers. But yes, I did. My buddy here at Redbeard said I got my ears lowered. For any of you guys from other places who don't know what that means, it means I got a haircut. But I got super sick of my hair growing, and it bothered my eczema really bad. You should have seen me. My whole head was nothing but flakes when I shaved it just an hour ago. And I hope that you have a fantastic time at Beaufort and Atlantic Beach. We're going to be going to Curry Beach tomorrow, Carolina Beach when we go. But to answer my buddy about Versace Blue Jeans, I think it's all right. It's not the best performer, obviously, but some Versace fragrances are monsters. For an Eau de Toilette, Dylan Blue is a pretty fantastic performer. Versace Eros and an Eau de Parfum, and then especially the Parfum, fantastic performers. Eros Energy, pretty good mid-level flame. So in the Eros world, or excuse me, in the Versace world, they do a pretty good job at making decent performers and decent scent profiles. But Versace Blue Jeans is just pretty okay, but it's not necessarily my style. But it's not a bad price, to be honest with you. But yeah, happy you guys are here. I'm always going to answer you guys the best that I can as I have the time and ability to do so. But yeah, I had your shave too. It's awesome, dude. Especially as it's getting hot outside. It's been horrible with the moisture. And bro, I have also shaved my hair. It's very hot here. I bet it is, Yuvraj. I bet it's absolutely spicy out where you are right now. But no, my mind is getting kind of blown right now because it took a second for me to really think about what does this make me think of? Hold on. Oh, you know what? Now that I'm actually thinking about it, I'm sorry. Give me just a second, you guys, because I'm cracking the code here and figuring this out. That's it. That is what this is. So the new Cal Cologne, the Tiger, I've been trying to get my nose on, like, what does this make me really think of? Because at first, it really was giving me that black orchid mixed with Bleu de Chanel parfum feeling. But now that I've actually given it more of a sniff, this is black lacquer. I got black lacquer by Tom Ford. I love this fragrance. Now that I'm actually really giving this more of a sniff, I got to say, this is fantastic value for the price because, again, I'm not all about gas people's like fragrances unless I think they actually are worth talking about. But if you want something that is like a Tom Ford's Ebon Fume mixed with black lacquer, that's basically really what you're getting here out of this one. And it's a pretty strong performer. So just taking it back to why I'm talking about this for anybody stopping through, I was asked by a good buddy here, valuable fragrances for the summer, something under $50, something under $40. So basically, if you get yourself this bad boy, it's not too shabby. So Liquid Brune or a Cal Cologne edition of Rayhan. Again, not sponsored, just giving a little support to a pretty decently made fragrance. And I also like talking about Rayhan Lion because with Cal Cologne's fragrance right now. Good morning, Muhammad. Thank you, or Mohammed, sorry. Thank you for being here. And bro, India sucks. It's very hot here. It's a tropical country. Well, trust me, I'm not from India, but I will say, my buddy, that here it gets extremely hot, especially during the summertime. It gets super musty. Our buddy Redbeard here down in Florida is probably baking right now. And the worst thing about it is, I don't know about India because I've never been there, but the worst thing is the humidity. Once that starts kicking in, it's over with. But also a very good price point. The more I've been thinking about it, the more I've been wanting to represent this. The Rayhan Lion is also a fantastic choice. It's supposed to be an ultra male feel. Obviously, as usual, there's something a little bit missing. People often want to tell you that these dupes and clones are like a 1-to-1. That almost never happens. To my nose, so far, Liquid Brune is the only fragrance that really hits that match. And maybe even to me personally, like takes it over the limit to a better state of fragrance. But this one's not really ultra male, but it's close enough. But it does perform very well for the price. So if you're looking for cheaper fragrances, which I have no problem suggesting for you guys, although that's not normally my go-to, it's pretty good choices for you to have. Yeah, I've heard it gets hot in India. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't only imagine what that's like. Redbeard, what's the average temperature there? So where Redbeard is in Florida, what is Liquid Brune a clone of? So while you guys talk about whatever you want to talk about in the comments, you're more than welcome to have conversations, get to know each other. Always want to emphasize that, not just us getting to know each other better during these talks that we have when I do these lives, but as well, I want you guys to build your own fragrance community based through here in my comments. Talk, get to know one another, shoot the breeze. We all want to be friends here, not just some YouTuber talking to strangers. So anytime you visit me, see it as getting to know a new buddy. Liquid Brune is an Altair by Parfums de Marly. If you've ever smelled any of their stuff, they are pretty expensive for the most part, between $380 to $420 for a 4.2 mil, or 4.2 ounces, which is, I believe, 100. I'm not exactly sure how many milliliters that is because I know 3.2 is normally 100 mil. So I'm not the best at math, whatever, forgive me. But they do give you a pretty okay amount for what you get out of Parfums de Marly for the price in comparison to something like Tom Ford. But in reality, this is, like I said, one of those very few occurrences. As well, Hod Lodge, Vanilla Dunes, and Island, which is a good take on Le Beau Le Parfum, one of my favorite fragrances. So it's very vanilla pod, not vanilla ice cream. Don't think vanilla ice cream, very vanilla pod with an orange blossom. Again, do not think oranges or mandarin when you think of orange blossom. It's more floral with a hint of orange creamsicle to it. Fantastic fragrance. Frankly speaking, I don't know about fragrances, but I like what you speak. Hey, thank you very much. Also, you cut your hair, looks good, bro. Thank you, that one guy. New Hugo Boss Citrus is fire. Trying to keep up with you guys real quick. I actually have not smelled the new Hugo Boss. On the other hand, I was thinking yesterday, I almost pulled the trigger. I told you guys I'm not going to purchase any more fragrances for a little while. I almost actually made the decision to go through with buying Boss Bottled Absolute. because I smelled it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a good fragrance. I don't own any Hugo Boss fragrances. But to you guys out there, that one guy, 2025, everybody's saying that you like my haircut. Thank you very much. My wife is going to freak out. So just letting you guys know, I have not fully shaved my head since I met my wife, and that's been 6 years now. So yeah, I told myself, I was like, I can't take it anymore. Everything's getting out of control. So I'm going to go ahead and shave it all off, and we're going to see how she feels later. I might live stream when she gets in the car. Who knows? But I might not, because she doesn't know she's going to be on camera, so she won't be too happy about that. But maybe I'll film it and share it with you guys later as a short, if you guys want to see that. Who knows? Man, my head stays itchy. Tell me about it. But no, I appreciate you guys so much for being here. And the Boss Bottled Bold Citrus, I would like to get my nose on that. I'm going to the mall after I visit my grandma, so I'm going to go see her a little bit later and see how she's doing. After I do that, I'm going to pretty much go to the mall. And basically, when I have these days off like this, what I like to do is I like to go back to where we used to be at. It's an hour away from here, hang out, do a little studying, a little reading, and then just pretty much go smell stuff. The people at the stores have finally gotten used to me being there. I've shown them my YouTube page and stuff, so they're actually okay with me smelling things. They've asked me a couple times if I'd like to actually film some stuff in the store, but I don't want to really be one of those kind of YouTubers. Let me know how it smells. I will certainly do that. I personally go to, if anybody lives in North Carolina and knows what South Point is, South Point Mall, that's where I like to go. If any of you guys live near there and ever want to come hang out, please let me know if you can. Hit me up on Instagram. We'll go chill, go smell some stuff. But they've got a Nordstrom. They have a Nordstrom, they have a Sephora, and an Ulta. So they have some pretty decent selection, but not the best in the entire world. What store? Nordstrom, for me personally, is the best store to go smell a lot of different types of fragrances. But there is, in fact, a Saks Fifth Avenue. I don't know if any of you guys live near one of those. So I found out weeks ago, Saks Fifth Avenue actually is a place you can go smell Initio fragrances if you want to. They have Initio, and they have a better selection of Kilian. So if you don't know, in the center of the women's section at a normal Sephora, they've got Angel Share, which I have. They've got Apple Brandy by Kilian. But if you was to go to Saks Fifth Avenue, they've got the full line, like, what is it? Moonlight in Heaven or something like that, Black Phantom, all that stuff. I guess you missed my comment. Let me go back and see real quick. I'm thinking of hitting some rack stores. I think you totally should. Let me see what your comment is, buddy. You don't care about fragrances. Well, hey, or something like that. Yeah, hey, totally fine with me. Hey, listen, if you're not interested in fragrances, but you just want to hang out and shoot the breeze, or you just like listening to me talk, that's totally fine. My wife had a point. Me doing these live streams, in a way, is almost like doing a podcast type of situation, except we're being interactive and I'm hanging out with you guys. I might even really seriously set up and invest in having a little table sit down place where I can hang out and talk with you guys. I got Le Beau Paradise Garden. I hope you enjoy that, Jonathan. I hope you like it. I know that at first a lot of people wasn't even sure about the difference between Le Beau Le Parfum and Paradise Garden. There is a mild difference in the notes and as well the bottle, but you got to really be looking at it, especially in places I don't personally want to be looking at the bottle. But I like Paradise Garden. Personally, I prefer the original Le Beau Le Parfum, but Paradise Garden is a fantastic choice for the summertime. And again, anybody coming through here who's interested in asking questions about fragrances, anybody who, by the way, to my buddies who are hanging out and stuff, no, sorry that you have to hear me repeat myself so much. Seba, hi. Hi, Seba. Welcome for being here. Seba or Seba, I don't know how you personally pronounce it, but thank you for being here. You got any questions? You are from where? I'm from America, specifically North Carolina. As well, anybody who stops through here, it's not very often I'm going to tell new people exactly where I am because, again, it's not safe. But yeah, I'm from North Carolina. Where are you from, Seba? And welcome for being here. I want to get Le Beau's, so I want to test them all to see which one I like best. Well, I hope you do. Do you like Creed? Is that how, did you mean Aventus? Yeah. So Ali, welcome to be here. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Personally, I think Creed Aventus is pretty decent. I think the Creed Aventus Absolute is a little bit better of a take on it. But for me, good morning, JJ. Thank you so much for being here from Vietnam, buddy. I appreciate you. But yes, to my buddy Ali asking me about Creed Aventus, I think it's pretty decent. It's not my favorite profile at all, but I do think if you like Creed Aventus, I'd recommend you getting Eros Energy or Club de Nuit Intense Man, the Parfum Edition. Fantastic choice. Dang, son, got the hair buzz, got the same cut as me now. What's up, JJ? Yes, sir, I did. I really got tired of it. Even though I got a lot of weight to lose, so my face is a little bit on the plump side. I like the Great Pumpkin. I had to go ahead and shave it all off because I was like, you know what? I can't take it anymore. The eczema was killing me. So it's time to shave the hair. Gucci Guilty Love Edition. That's a good choice. I actually, like I said, if you guys saw any of the stream the other day, I liked the Gucci Guilty Elixir. Smelled that the other day. I'm going to check it out again. Gucci Guilty Elixir is a fantastic choice if you want to save just a pinch of money and you want that reflections type of vibe going on. I will say, if you want to sacrifice a little bit of the luxury, I'm going to start using it as a catchphrase. Just throwing this out there. Any of you guys who are watching from now on, if you watch me, we're going to start saying sacrifice the luxury or sacrifice a little luxury when it comes to choosing cheaper perfumery over the expensive ones. Now, I know that might sound like a very awful thing to say, because people are like, no, plenty of dupes, they have it. So you will smell a overall more synthetic vibe. And to be honest with you, I've been noticing a lot of like TikTokers talking crap lately about like trying to convince you guys that it's not worth the money. The truth of the matter is, if you can save the money, not every expensive fragrance is worth it. But if you can save the money and you can get your hands on something that's been higher quality, made with better materials, your nose, if it's well trained and well exposed, will be able to tell a difference in the scent profile, and it will matter to you. So let me see. Oh, and I was also going to say, if you want something that's got that iris feel, Shiaka by Hot Lodge, very fantastic choice because it's very close, but not perfect to the reflections vibe. Let's see, top 5 fragrances in your opinion. Redbeard. I also think Armafs are a fantastic choice. You had Aventus, didn't last like 20 minutes. I agree. But Azura Forever Wanted, a pretty good choice. Gameplay Clout. I think you made a good decision there if you're going to wear it. Bro, you have a really beautiful profile pic. Thank you very much. That is, in fact, if you're talking about my profile picture here and on Instagram, that's me and my wife when we first got married. At our wedding night, my hair was grown out. I was wearing my little suit, the only suit that I own. It was a fantastic evening. And you're asking me top 5 fragrances in my opinion. Ali, thank you for being here. Now, again, this is my opinion. These are my feelings. So it's probably different for basically everyone. My personal top 5 fragrances are Naxos by Xerjoff. Everybody who follows me is going to continue to hear this is my favorite fragrance in the entire world. Probably always will be. It just depends. But Xerjoff's Naxos, my favorite. And then after that, I'm going with Oud Silk Mood. This actually recently took the place of Amouage's Reflection for me. But if I had to choose, absolute favorite, Naxos by Xerjoff, Oud Silk Mood, the Extrait de Parfum by Maison Francis Kirkjohn, Amouage's Reflection. I think after that, if I had to really choose, I'm going to go with Ombre Leather by Tom Ford, the Parfum. And then I'm going to finish it off with La Male Le Parfum. That's a tough one. It's really hard for me to choose, but that's what I'm going to go with. Man, I look nothing like what I did when I got married. Well, trust me, me neither. It's only been a year and a half, but I seriously don't. My dude's bald. That's right, Dash. Went and shaved all my hair off, couldn't take it anymore. I was like, you know what? I just can't stand this. It's time for a change. Thanks for chatting. Got to go. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Ali. I really appreciate you having been here, buddy. Bless you, man. Have a great day. Gucci Guilty Elixir is one of my favorite fragrances, Sammy. That is fantastic. I'm glad that you really love it, dude. Personally, when I tested it, like I said, it smelled after the mild beginning opener dry down, just like Reflection Amouage, just that iris feel. But unfortunately, the reason for that is because when Amouage made Reflection, and they made it such an appealing, powerful iris take, basically anything that uses an iris accord going forward is going to smell like a copycat in some way or another. But again, just throwing this out there. I hope you have a great day at work, by the way, Ali. Oud Satin Mood, one of my faves. Have you tried Oud Silk Mood? So that's actually what I was saying, just to clarify. Oud Satin Mood is fantastic. I love it. But Oud Silk Mood, this is actually the one I said is my number 2 in the world. And I do love it because it is a bright, beautiful, rosy, silky oud feel. And it's one of the most beautiful fragrances that I've ever smelled in my life. And I love it so much. If I had to choose like 2 fragrances to have for the rest of my life, I would put that on the list without a doubt. You know, I get very happy when I see other couples happy. Well, you know what, Yuvraj? That makes so much happiness for me. Me and my wife, like, we have issues like everybody else. Everyone. True love is not true love unless you guys have hardships and overcome the other side. Just going on a little rant here real fast. In today's time, relationships don't last because all these knuckleheads out here believe it's supposed to just be perfect. That's a lie. Everybody thinks relationships are supposed to just be perfect with no problems, and so everybody breaks up the moment that they have difficulty. If you keep living life like that, you'll never find love. I'm just being completely honest with you guys. And even though I'm not the most handsome person at all in the world, I am a man who has a wife that I love with all my heart. She's the most beautiful person to me. I have 2 children who I love with all my heart. So I'm telling you very specifically, if you want things to last, you're going to have to understand that no, people shouldn't be able to just abuse you. But love is going to be difficult and it's going to be painful, but you overcome things together and you're patient with each other and you gradually become stronger as time goes on. So that is what leads to true happiness. So just throwing it out there. Lad D, good morning, buddy. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, can you please recommend me a signature scent? I sure will. Personally, today I'm going to suggest for you as a signature scent, Stronger With You Parfum by Armani Imperio or Imperio Armani. Stronger With You Parfum, fantastic signature scent. And as well, I will suggest for you Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. And last but not least, I'm going to suggest for you Hot Lodge Island or Vanilla or Liquid Broom. Sorry. And let's see here. Now, man, you are very handsome. I appreciate that so much, buddy. Eli, I really appreciate it. I'm about to get a fresh cut soon. Well, I hope you do, and I hope that you enjoy it. My signature scent I'm trying to savor is Ralph's Club Elixir. I have not smelled that. But that sounds very, very fantastic. I feel like I missed an important conversation. Well, you know what? We can always rehash things if you'd like me to go back. I was just talking about love and relationships, but you guys are welcome to ask me whatever you'd like to. I'm no professional, just a person who appreciates you guys and welcome you here. Lamel Elixir versus Naxos by Xerjoff. Naxos by Xerjoff. I love Lamel Elixir, but Naxos by Xerjoff is what I'm going with. Pink World, I asked that too yesterday. Pink World, I don't know what Pink World is. Okay, no, sorry. You might be responding to something. Thank you so much. You're absolutely welcome, bro. Why don't you display your silver? Oh, thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate that, Yuvraj. You are absolutely correct. I'll put that bad boy up there. Why not? Why not? Have you tried Rosewood by Arabian Oud? I have not. I have not tried that, but now as you suggest it, I would like to put that on my list. Get your nose on it. They have it at rack stores. Okay, and I'll have to do that. I got the tobacco cologne you recommended. I have a date for tomorrow of conversation about it. Really? Lad D, that makes me extremely excited to know. Thank you. I hope your date goes fantastically. Just remember, be yourself, tell the truth, and be upfront, enjoy, and talk about your passions. Ask your partner who you're going on a date with about your passions. I don't mean to be presumptive, so I don't know if you're going on a date with a woman or a man. No offense. So whatever. You're welcome to talk to me about it here. But enjoy your date, and I hope you have a fantastic time, buddy. And I hope that you enjoy that tobacco cologne. I can't remember which one it was, though. Was it the Royal Tobacco by Amouage? That might be the one. Arabian Oud has some fantastic hidden gems. I'm going to have to check that out. You know what? I just found out today that I did not know. So people always talk about not just Mancera, but they talk a lot about Montel. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly. But I did not know that the nose behind a lot of Mancera fragrances is the same person. I didn't know that they were basically sister companies, pretty much. So one of my favorite Mancera fragrances that I'm wearing today, Rose is Greedy. This is, in fact, created by Montel, or Mantel, however you say it. Can't wait to get off work to drop in some Warzone. It's boring today. Oh, golly, I bet it is boring today. I'm pretty sure it's probably driving you crazy. I hope that you get to have a lot of fun playing that Warzone. Me and my wife are thinking about going and seeing a movie tonight. Don't know what we're going to see just yet because last night, just going to go ahead and throw this out there, you guys. We see movies. We got the A-list from AMC Theaters. We see movies like all the time, and we went to see Rosario. Forgive me if you guys see it and you like it, but it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. You heard it here first. It was terrible. Let me see here. Bro, I don't like butterfly who sits on every flower. That's really pretty. You sell cologne. Just be cool about it. First of all, your name, Just Be Cool About It, is fantastic. And no, I do not sell cologne. Maybe one day. But for now, I just give people advice about fragrances if you have any questions. And thank you for being here. And if I can't help you, please have a beautiful day and God bless you. Royal Tobacco. Well, Lad D, you made a fantastic choice. Royal Tobacco is incredible. A work of art, just like JJ said. Pink World, Naxos by Xerjoff for $165. Do you think it's legit? If it's from a discounter, it really depends on what discounter it is. If it's Naxos by Xerjoff for $165, if it's from FragranceNet, it's legit. If it's from Axaroma, it's probably legit because I'm pretty sure on FragranceNet you can get Naxos by Xerjoff for around that $165, $150 range. Just depends. Good morning, Diego. Super happy for you to be here, buddy. And that's a fantastic choice. I'm actually thinking about getting that fragrance myself to give it a shot. Sam, what would you rate Tony Iommi? By the way, thank you for being here, Sam. I'm not sure if you're the Sam that I personally know, but if you are, thanks for being here. And what I rate it, and anything you would pick over it for special occasion. So to be completely honest with you, and I realized this by going through my collection yesterday. So I think that Monkey Special is a really fantastic fragrance choice. It's a beautiful caramel licoricey kind of feel with a little bit of tobacco type vibe going on. Although I don't know if that's a note in it. It like professionally wise, it does feel that way. But I will say that actually for the size you get, for the price you pay, whether it's from discounters or not, Royal Tobacco. Just like our buddy here, Lad, bought Royal Tobacco from the Opus series from Amouage. If you are looking for an absolutely fantastic choice to go with, I would say get you this because you're going to get more of a bottle and more like overall just a little bit more richness and depth for a younger / mature nose. Have I tried any Argos fragrances? I have not, but I really want to. That's actually on my list of one of the next things I want to get when I have the ability to spend the cash to do so. It's a woman from work. I smiled at her. She walked by and she stopped, turned around, talked for 10 minutes, and she was late for her workstation. Well, let me tell you something, Lad D. I hope you have the best time on your date. That makes me so excited. Be careful, and I don't mean this like don't date people you work with, but just remember to be as much of a gentleman as you can be, because dating people that you work with can be a little tricky sometimes if you have issues. So just always be respectful as you can be. But hey, can you please give me some advice to get a girl? I certainly can try to do so, my friend. Basically, at the end of the day, like I said, it depends. Obviously, if you mean like you have a specific girl in mind, then that's a little bit easier to help you with. If you're just talking about finding someone in general, do this. I don't know where you live. I can't remember where you specifically live, but go out in public. Try to go to places like let's imagine you like playing like card games like Yu-Gi-Oh or something. Go to local game shops. Go to hobby stores. If you like comic books, if you like reading books in general, like go to a library or go to a local Barnes and Noble or bookstore. If you like pretty much anything, you like hiking, go to places where people do those things. Or just like try to go out a little bit more and walk around in public, maybe just glance around stores and stuff in your local markets and just be yourself. Just try to look as presentable as you can be. Put on your fragrances because even though a lot of people won't necessarily give you compliments, they will notice you. Put on something pleasing, but nothing too offensive, something a little strong, something beautiful perhaps. And then if you do end up having conversations with people, if a young lady happens to start talking to you, just be yourself right away. Just try to have fun. Don't try to impress anyone. Never try to impress anyone because it just won't work. Just try to make people laugh, have a nice time, and talk about your passions and talk about yourself. If you do that, that will go a very long way in helping you find out if somebody's interested in who you are, and that will make the difference. What's your favorite movie? Mine is Top Gun Maverick. Somebody brought up that yesterday. I'm also going to answer my buddy Just Be Cool with it about Tom Ford Black Orchid. Again, I'm trying to keep up with you guys. Communications, we'll keep it rolling. But Tom Ford Maverick, okay, so one of my favorite movies, this is a little tough because I love the Back to the Future series. I love the Mummy series, like the one with Brendan Fraser. If I had to pick a favorite movie of all time, though, that's a rough one because I'm really bad at picking absolute favorites, to be honest with you. My mind's always switching between them. But I would definitely say I'm going to go with Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings series is probably going to be my absolute favorite if I had to choose. Black Orchid, to be completely real with you guys, I think it was an incredibly done fragrance, especially earlier formulations, but I don't like it. So again, always remember, you can say something was made very well and be able to recognize it was done with skill and not like it at the same time. I hate Black Orchid personally, and there's a reason for that. This is going to sound extremely strange to you guys. It might not make any sense, but one of my closest friends who's not with us anymore, and before he passed away, we actually had a very bad fallout. His apartment that I used to clean for him smelled for some strange reason. He was a chef and he didn't clean his apartment very well. He drank a lot as well. For some strange reason, his apartment smelled like Black Orchid. He didn't have any perfumery, no fragrances. Something about just like his natural odor mixed with like the cooking and spices he did in his house smelled like Black Orchid to a T. So again, that's very specific for me. But when I smell Black Orchid, it just makes me think about that and it just makes me upset. So I think it was very well done, but I don't like it. Monkey Special. So Monkey Special is the proper name for Iommi. That's what it's called if you actually look it up. Tony Iommi, it's called Monkey Special. That's basically the name of the scent, although it's not on the bottle. So yeah, if anybody ever asks, it's not really my style. I much prefer Royal Tobacco, which if you're asking, they're not the exact same, but they're in the same family. But I will say this, though. Again, what I said earlier, Tom Ford's Black Orchid is still fantastically made. I guess you're going to be a love advisor soon. Could be. You never know. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of thought. It's creamy, woody. It's hard to explain. My wife thinks it's too strong. Well, I'm going to have to check that out then because I like very strong things. Nice glasses. They look vintage frames. Thank you. I appreciate that. As a youngster, I always wanted glasses, but my eyesight was good. When my daughter was first born, within the first 6 months, she accidentally, in both eyes, I'm not exaggerating, managed to jab me and give me corneal abrasions. So my eyes felt like they had sandpaper grating against them and messed up my vision. So I ended up, I love my daughter very much, but I had to get glasses, and I just happen to love this. Although, and you guys are welcome to crack jokes about this if you want, I've had people after people tell me that I look like Jeffrey Dahmer. It is what it is, but yeah. So Tom Ford Black Orchid is also a work of art. Just be cool. It's a very unique scent. You're absolutely right. It is a work of art. It's beautiful. It's just not for me. Not in general. I have one in mind. Well, like I said, when you go talk to that young lady, just be yourself and have a good time. Eli, enjoy yourself. Thank you so much for having come through. If you're still here, I appreciate you, brother. I had the original Black Orchid EDP. Ain't tried any other ones. Well, they do have other versions now. I think there's one also called Velvet Orchid. I do like that one. Any fragrances you hated but appreciate it way more now that you understand it better? I'm going to answer that in just a second. That's one I want to get, JJ. Well, I hope that you do get it. Just be cool with it. If you like red tobacco and Carlisle, you should try Triumph of Bacchus by Argos. I'm going to try that. Like I said, Argos has a couple of fragrances that I haven't got my nose on because there's nowhere around me locally I can go try it out. But I really, really want to give it a shot. With that being said, though, any fragrances... Oh, I almost dropped it. Any fragrances that I hated but I love now or that I've come to appreciate? Oh, there's plenty. So I talk about this one a lot. This is Alexandria 2 by Xerjoff. This is a fragrance that I absolutely despised. I'm going to get a sample of that Amouage. Which Amouage are you going to get, Diego? But whichever one you're going to get, I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, to be honest with you guys, Silver Oud. Yes, get the Silver Oud, dude. You're going to... You know what? So I don't recommend everybody doing this, but I like to do this. I don't recommend everybody doing this because it could mess with your nose and give you... So if you know what olfactory fatigue is, that is where your nose gets wore out. Your olfactory system's what you smell with. If you put too many fragrances on, or even if you wear the same thing too much and your nose gets used to it, it can burn you out. But I hope you enjoy that Silver Oud. I don't know what you said there, Zara. I don't know what you said because I don't speak Arabic. I'm sorry, but thank you for being here. I don't know what Arabic you speak, but marhaban. Thank you for being here. Just be cool with it. I love 1 Million by Paco Rabanne. I personally especially love 1 Million Elixir. It's fantastic, but they are all fantastic choices. I think I may actually do Lyric Man today. JJ, please let me know. If you get Lyric Man, let me know how you feel about it because that's one of the Amouages I've been thinking about getting for a while. As you know, I love rose fragrances, but I've been a little worried about getting the Amouage Lyric Man. Please let me know if you do. I actually did order 2 dupes last night that I'm very excited to try because they have pretty decent reviews and I'm interested because you know I love rose stuff. And I ordered... I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it's Paris Corner or something like that. They've got 2 portrait of a lady. Like there is a unique portrait and then leather rose and leather something. I ordered those. Super excited to try those out. I made the mistake of not being myself with my first date back in high school. Don't do it, gentlemen. Women, you're absolutely right, Lad D. So again, for anybody popping through here who's interested in going out with somebody or wanting to get into the love world, my buddy here, Lad D, is being completely 100%, dude. If you're not yourself, it just isn't going to work. And it wouldn't even matter if it did work. If you faked it and went on a date with somebody, they're not going to like the real you, potentially. And it's just going to make you upset. But yeah, just to answer my buddy earlier, if he's still here or not, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, forgive me. At the end of the day, trying out fragrances is something that you got to really get yourself used to. And I've come to love this one. Got a bottle of Lyric Man. Well, JJ, thank you for letting me know that, especially if you like MFK. Well, now I'm super excited. I'm definitely going to have to get myself a bottle of Lyric Man because you get a pretty decent amount for the price that they charge. So, but yeah, what I was going to say earlier that I don't recommend you guys doing until you've got a little bit more experience with your nose developing is I like to, let me make sure that I've got nothing that's going to mess it up. I like to take fragrances, multiple, to continue to remind myself of their performance, to continue to remind myself of about kind of like when you go sniffing at the store and they have coffee beans, which by the way, doesn't really work, but it is kind of helpful. It's more of a placebo thing. But when they have coffee beans sitting out so you can get your nose a little reset so you can continue to smell different profiles, what I like to do as I'm trying different things, or just because throughout the day we all shift moods, I'll take a main fragrance, like today, Rose is Greedy by Mancera is my primary fragrance, but on parts of my other arm, I'll do a little blast like you just saw me do of something else. And I definitely forgot how much I love Alexandria too. This is one of the most beautiful fragrances. It smells old. It smells very mature, so it's certainly not for everybody. But oh my goodness. Alexandria 2 is one of the most beautiful fragrances of all time. If you ever get your nose on Alexandria 2, for the love of God, if you don't like it at first, I'm not trying to tell yourself to force yourself to like it, but if you smell Alexandria 2, please give it some time. You might come to love it just as much as me. Man, I just smell it and leave the coffee for drinking. You're absolutely correct, buddy. You're absolutely correct. But you're right. And AB, thank you for being here. Good morning or good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time it is where you guys are from. And remember, as new people stop through here, please, you see I have lots of fragrances. I don't want to just, like, I get really carried away, and I love having conversations with my buddies who are already here. But please, guys, anybody coming through here, feel free to ask fragrance questions. Hey, this is my secret massive compliment getter. Works every time. Try layering DHI with Libre Le Parfum. 1-to-3 ratio. Subrat Dash, or Subrat Dash, however you say your name. Thank you for giving that advice. That's fantastic. What's the difference between two Dolce & Gabbana light blues? Brian Voiles. Yeah. Thank you for asking, buddy. Also, I'll say this, JJ, you're absolutely right. Roses Vanille is a fantastic choice by Mancera. But now to my friend Brian here, who asked the difference between the two Dolce & Gabbanas. So there's 3 Dolce & Gabbana light blues to go through. There's light blue, the Eau de Toilette, light blue, Eau Intense. And then right here, I'm imagining you're talking about the difference between Capri and Love and the original light blue. So allow me to explain. The original light blue, if you're still here with me, buddy, Brian, is this one. This one right here is rosemary and lemon. That's the primary thing you're getting. It's one of the most beautiful, unique scents in all of perfumery. I absolutely love this one. It's one of the best summertime scents that you'll ever get your nose on. This one, the Capri and Love, this is black pepper. This is, I believe, fig and patchouli. So they're completely different scent profiles. And thank you for asking, Brian. Thank you for being here. You're always welcome to ask me any questions you want. I normally do my streams on Wednesdays, but anybody is welcome to come through. If you ever see me live, please come hang out. Let's shoot the breeze and talk. I also got to remember as I move my fragrances around, not to get myself confused. By the way, again, you guys who are sitting here watching with me right now, please, if you can, remind me if you can hear me pretty good. Because again, I'm trying out having my microphone a little further away from my face. These cheaper, like new microphones I'm using, I never know. I thought you had to work today. Not me personally. I was supposed to work today. But on Wednesday afternoon, my bosses and them are very aware of what's going on with my grandma right now. So she gave me the rest of the week off. It's paid, so I'm just kind of enjoying myself. Does silver oud come off as an... Well, to be completely honest with you, buddy, I would say that in a way it does. Silver oud definitely has an animalic type of scent profile to it. Because again, when people think about ouds, now don't get me wrong though, it's very still subtle and relaxed and beautiful. I'm slightly getting into animatic fragrances right now. So when you see things like oud being listed as a name in like Oud Silk Mood, it's very soft, beautiful, and a gorgeous fragrance. It's not offensive. Whereas something like Oud for Greatness can at times peak in a way that's almost a little bit earthy and a little bit too musky for some people's noses. This, as strange as this is going to say, let me get a little spray on there. Right out of the atomizer, when you first spray on silver oud, especially before it's had time to sit and macerate, right out of the bottle when you first get it, it has a harshness to it that is a little bit too much for some people, but it smooths out so beautifully. I like that they named this silver oud because there is a beauty, a gorgeousness that radiates off of this. Like I said, there is that little bit of funky undertone, especially because of one of the ingredients that they used in this. And I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. There is an ingredient in this that's called castoreum. And if you know what that is, this comes from an animal. I don't know if they use real castoreum or if it is a synthetic castoreum, because castoreum is like a bonding agent / mild amount of fragrant enhancer. And it does other things as well. But that is in this, and it gives it that almost type of animalic feel, but it is absolutely beautiful. And I do love this fragrance. And as it smooths out, a lot of people talk about some ouds having a cheesy quality. I don't really like that. Hayat by Xerjoff, I have that down here. I, for some reason, will torture myself with it. I like to spray it on, and like I have this weird feeling where like I like it, but I don't. But I don't just want to wear that as something just I'm out in public, because it's not for everybody. I don't live in the Middle East, and it can offend people sometimes. I've tried it. But this one, silver oud, is beautiful. Once it starts to dry down, it sticks to you forever. It bleeds off of you, and it's a gorgeous fragrance. You want something curious by YSL? It's a fantastic choice. Yuvraj, you're absolutely right. Getting a little, gotta get them legs going, buddy. Most want an EDP intense or stronger with you intensely. I'm gonna go stronger with you intensely. That's just my personal feelings, but I really like stronger with you intensely. Although I will say, if you can spring just a little bit of extra money, I recommend you get stronger with you parfum. I have a buddy in here who prefers the absolutely, but just going ahead and throwing this at you, my friend. I prefer stronger with you parfum. It's a fantastic fragrance choice. You know what I just realized would also probably be pretty nice, you guys? Let me see here. If you have roses greedy, so some of you guys have asked me about doing layering and things like that. Real quick, gang stalker, any that smells like mold and rotting roadkill. I mean, depending on how you feel, kind of, yeah. I would say Hayat by Zerjoff. Again, if it's that cheesy oud type of feel. So I know you're probably just being sarcastic or something. I don't know. But regardless, yeah, if you put something like that on, it can give you that kind of vibe. You're really good at live commentary if it's not too consuming for you, doing cuts from your live. I'm not sure what that means. If it's not too time consuming for you, doing cuts from your live. I don't know what that. I'm a biker, so whatever I wear, it just goes off in a few minutes. I understand that. Yeah, that fecal feel is typically the word that they like to use, by the way, when it comes to oud. The collection is actually too good, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. If you're talking about my collection. Good morning, Paul. Have I tried Michael? So Ocean Noir, I have not tried that, but I really want to get my nose on it. But it's probably going to be a while before I actually get to doing that. As shorts would do one. Okay, I see what you're saying. Doing cuts of my shorts and stuff would probably do good for the algorithm. You know what? That's probably a really good thing to say. To be honest with you, I appreciate you guys in general for even watching. I thank you guys for giving me your own thoughts and advice, because I'm not like a big YouTuber guy, like in the sense that I'm not like this huge YouTuber that everybody knows. And even if I ever get to that point, I'm still going to stand by what I'm about to say right now. Any of you guys who have suggestions, thoughts, whatever, doesn't mean I'm going to implement them, but I will always be listening to you guys. And if you ever have anything you would like to say or what have you, I appreciate you so much, and I'm always going to listen to you guys. I'm not going to be like, I know better than you. Go away. Do you like piercing those lips? Do you like piercing those nose lips? I'm not sure what that means, but I have not pierced my nose. I have pierced my nose a long time ago, but not anytime soon. And again, thank you guys for all your suggestions, dude. We are trying to get you going again, and it means the world to me. I love you guys so much. I really do. That's not some crap I'm saying just to make you feel good. Every one of you guys who watches my videos, every one of you guys who asks me questions and stuff, you mean so much to me, because that's, again, why I'm doing this. I am doing this Douglas Moon Fragrance channel. I'm doing what I'm calling now the Douglas Moon Fragrance Show whenever I do my live streams, because my goal is not to sell you crap. My goal is to stop you from spending money. So I want you to have fragrances. I want you to love the fragrances that you have. I want the fragrances that you buy to mean something to you and to be a part of how you personally express yourself. So my buddy here, who I'm about to answer you, whatever you said, the breaker, Sativa, Jack asking me stuff. I'm going to answer you about that tobacco just in a second. Diego, all you guys, when you're here asking me stuff, I'm here for you guys because I want you to only spend money on stuff that's worth having. So let me see here real fast and answer your questions. Want to get Mancera Instant Crush or Oud Lemon Mint? How do those smell? Instant Crush is like a more velvety vanilla version of Baccarat Rouge. It's fantastic. It's extremely powerful. Be careful with it. Oud Lemon Mint is incredible. It's like a very wealthy Febreze, like summertime Febreze. I know that sounds cheap, but it's really nice for the price range. Don't get French Riviera. A lot of these fragrance people are pushing French Riviera on you. Now, if you have it already and you like it, that's great. I personally think it just literally smells like cheap Febreze. That's me. I'm sorry. I mean, no offense to you guys, but all these content creators pushing French Riviera on you guys, don't do it. I love Mancera, but Oud Blue Notes, Cosmic Pepper, or Oud Lemon Mint, way better choices, personally. Dude, let's see here. Thinking of picking up Sweet Heaven Cherry. Thoughts if you put your nose to it? I personally have not put my nose to that fragrance, so the breaker, thank you for being here and asking questions, but I can't give you any recommendations because I personally haven't smelled it. With that being said, you asked me about good tobacco fragrances. My buddy here, who was at Sativa Jack, good tobacco fragrances. Royal Tobacco, one of our other buddies here recently picked this up. Royal Tobacco by Amouage, one of the greatest like licorice-y type of tobacco fragrances I've ever smelled as well. Naxos by Xerchoff is like a honey tobacco type of profile, but it's more of a sweet tobacco leaf. There is a difference. This is as well like a licorice-y sweet tobacco leaf with a smoky incense feel. And then Red Tobacco Intense by Mancera is more of a smoked tobacco feel. If you've got the money also, but I highly recommend getting these other ones instead because they're better lasters and stronger. But Carlisle by Parfums de Marly, another good tobacco fragrance. Plum scents, in most cases, if you want something nice and cheap, you've got Hawas by Rasasi. But as far as plum scents goes, that's a little tough because a lot of fragrances that I use have fig in them instead of plum, except for like that. But I do know if you want to go for something that's a little softer, what is it? Dia? Dia by Amouage is a pretty decent fragrance that has a little bit of a plum feel to it as well. It's much more luxurious though. Have an amazing fragrance collection. Thank you, Sammy. I really appreciate that. You never showed up in my algorithm. It's pretty random today. You should definitely try making shorts. You have a great collection. Well, I really appreciate that. I do shorts every day. I do the fragrance of the day shorts, but I haven't started doing shorts like this really. I guess I probably should do that. But for the most part, my main focus has been doing long form, like 5 to 10 minute fragrance reviews, and then doing these live streams every Wednesday and then other days of the week when I get the chance. But like I said, I really appreciate you guys' suggestions, and I'm going to start doing it when I get the chance to do so. And I thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you love French Riviera, buddy. Like I said, Jonathan, it might not be my style, but I definitely appreciate when other people love it. Sorry, guys, I dropped the lid to my fragrance, and I'm hunting it right now. But no, I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Not a fan of French Riviera. I love blue notes, and I definitely appreciate you guys for liking stuff. Does Cosmic Pepper lean close to Sauvage DNA? I've never tried it. So, to be honest with you, as a matter of fact, let me give myself a little... Whoa, I put the wrong cap back on that fragrance. Let me give myself a little smell real quick because... Let me see. This is Cosmic Pepper, you guys. I don't know if you guys personally have ever heard of it. Now that you mention it, let's see here. Hold on, let it settle down. I don't want to get stuck to my nose hairs. I would say a cross between the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum with just a little bit more of a brightness and more of a almost soapy, but not in a bad way, but very, very powerful feel is what you're getting from Cosmic Pepper. This is an incredible fragrance. If you're looking for something that's very strong, but very bright, very good for the summertime, especially spring, this right here will stick to you like super glue. So Cosmic Pepper by Mancera is a fantastic fragrance. I actually hate that I haven't worn it in a while, but very, very fantastic tobacco fragrance, royal tobacco. I'm going to keep saying it till the cows come home. But I think, even though I'm not going to do it today, I think soon I'm going to try to layer Silver Oud with Rose's Greedy, because you already know that I love a rose and oudy profile. Actually, I might try that right now, to be honest with you. I've already put on Silver Oud, so why not? I'll let that dry down for a little bit because this is very powerful. Mancera fragrances will choke you out. Okay, cool. I've heard Sauvage and Allure Homme Sport, but it sounds unique enough. I would personally say get Cosmic Pepper because it is a very beautiful, very powerful fragrance to have. Very long lasting. That is one thing that I'll give super credit to Mancera fragrances, even if something's not for me. They are very strong fragrances. Can you suggest a good perfume? Hold on, let me look at these and make sure I'm keeping up with you guys. Cosmic Pepper is more leaning towards Allure Homme Sport. I'd agree with you there, Redbeard. Thank you for saying that. You're right. I don't think about Allure Homme Sport very often because it's not really my personal taste and I don't go with them. But I appreciate you guys for helping with these suggestions. Let's see. Suggest a good perfume. I like masculine, dominant vibes. I have a beard and prefer a classy, refined style, but it should still be a little mass appealing. I'm 29. You got a point there, Redbeard. You're talking about Interlude, but I will say Interlude is a little bit dense and a little bit rough for some people. So I say Black Iris. Interlude Black Iris is a fantastic choice if you don't mind spending the money. This is a very classy, very gorgeous, very long-lasting and powerful radiant fragrance. So Interlude Black Iris is an incredible choice if you're looking for something along those lines. Oh, golly, I forgot how gorgeous this is. I'm going to add this right here. Whoa. Holy cow. I have not worn this in weeks, and oh my good Lord. It's very rare you guys are going to see me react like this. I'm sorry, you guys. You're going to have to give me a second. I have not smelled Black Iris in a while. I've been trying to decide for a while what my favorite interlude is, and I think I just did it because I got all three of the interludes. I love the original. I absolutely do. But oh my goodness gracious, the sweet brightness and the vibrancy of this interlude Black Iris just blew my mind. I forgot how much I love it. I love being masculine, but not all masculine. You're absolutely correct. So, hey, I'm not calming down, man. This is fantastic. My bad. I've a beard. Not a. It's okay, buddy. Hey, anybody's welcome to ask me whatever you can, as you can, and we will always work through. If you have a typo, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. But no, I cannot believe how much I forgot I love this. I will recommend this to people. If you want the original interlude, won't recommend it to people too much because it's not as mass appealing. But this one, guys, Sport is a sleeper. I've not smelled that Cartier, so I can't really tell anybody about that myself personally, but I think it's probably a good choice. But to my buddy here, this is absolutely fantastic. So if you want something that's very powerful, very different, going to make you stand out, Black Iris Amouage, this is going to do the trick. So go for it. Something very perfect for you, my buddy Subrat. Yeah, man, Black Iris is a go. Amouage, one of my favorite houses across the board. Mine too. Personally, forgive me, guys. Xerjoff stays my favorite fragrance house for the simple fact that I get a kick out of seeing a fragrance house who can just consistently make fragrances that I love. Again, doesn't mean they're for me. Doesn't mean I'm going to wear them. But it's very exciting when there's a fragrance house. I'm back. What's up, Rob? Welcome back, buddy. Super happy for you to be here. I don't know why I did this. Yeah. I'm 32 years old. Let's pretend that we're teenagers. Yeah. Well, thank you, Rob, for being back here. I appreciate you so much for taking the time to come through, to come watch. Again, you guys, let's keep talking about fragrances. Let's talk about life, whatever you want to. Ask me any questions that you got. It's all open game here. But I am really falling back in love with this Black Iris. I can't believe I haven't worn this in so long. Sometimes you go through these long periods where you just are really feeling drawn towards certain fragrance profiles and other stuff just kind of fades out of your head. I have, honest to goodness, not even thought about wearing Black Iris in I'd say probably about 2 or 3 months now. This is fantastic. Rob, what's your most preferred smell, like the one that makes you stand out? This will definitely do it. Black Iris definitely will make you stand out. I'm always interlude Black Iris, but well, yeah, one that makes you stand out. I'm always going to go back to Naxos by Xerjoff. Oud Silk Mood by Maison Francis Kirkjohn, 100% going to make you stand out. But I will say this, whether it's Oud Silk Mood, whether it's Naxos, whether it's Herba Pura, whether it's interlude Black Iris, to be completely real with you guys, any fragrances for the most part almost is going to make you stand out, except for mega basic fragrances. And when I say that, Bleu de Chanel Parfum, for instance, is a classic, and yet it has distinctness to it. Whereas if you was to wear something like Davidoff Cool Water, I mean, that's going to smell like super soapy. Even Green Irish Tweed, right? In comparison, very expensive, but very soapy. It's not going to stand out that much, although it's a nice fragrance. But in general, wearing perfumery, wearing fragrances is always going to make you stand out for the fact that maybe not where you guys live, I don't know, but where I live and growing up my whole life, it's very rare. The only people where I live pretty much who wear cologne at all is the Hispanic men. So there's a lot of people where I live who are from Mexico, from Guatemala, from El Salvador. Some of my closest people at my job are from those places. And honestly, those are the only people that I really know who wear colognes. I don't know why, but a lot of average Joes that I meet down the street here just don't seem to do it. So maybe where you're from as well. What made you get into fragrances? Diego, that's a fantastic question, and I appreciate you so much for asking. Hold on, I'm in Miami, so I got to look and smell good. Well, then you got a point there. Real quick, I'll answer you, Diego, here in a second, what made me get into fragrances. But, buddy, Rob, if you are in Miami, you 100% do, in fact, have to get yourself on some fragrances, because I've never been to Miami, but I hear down there everybody wants to smell good. People talk about Miami all the time. Even Will Smith did it. At the end of the day, I would say if you really want to stand out and you've got money, 100%. Get yourself Naxos by Xerjoff. Get yourself 40 Knots by Xerjoff. Get Oud Silk Mood by Maison Francis Kirkjohn. Don't get Grand Soir, because even though Grand Soir is a fantastic choice, to be completely honest with you, Ray Schremer talked about it. If you know who they are, Ray Schremer, the rap group or hip hop duo, talked about Grand Soir by Maison Francis, and they showed it and projected it to the world. And I know that might sound silly, but when people do that, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it, so definitely you might not stand out as much if you're in Miami, because it might be very popular there. So forget Baccarat Rouge. You want to stand out in Miami, get Oud Silk Mood, the Extrait de Parfum. Get Oud Mineral. by Tom Ford. Get Tom Ford Noir Extreme or 100% Naxos or 40 knots by Zerjoff. You'll stand out, no questions asked. It's going to really blow people's mind in every different direction if you get those fragrances, and it'll be powerful, it'll be radiant, but it'll also be luxurious. What you don't want to do in places like that probably is come off cheap. You walk around Tallahassee, wear whatever you want. If you're walking around Miami and you want to really be distinct, and probably, I'm assuming, Rob, you probably dress nice. With that being said, again, anybody coming through here, you see my fragrance collection. I know I block it off a lot when I stand in front of it, but please feel free to ask me whatever you want, and I'll tell you whatever I can. I've not smelled a plum and cognac, but thank you, my buddy here, Sativa, for suggesting it or for talking about it, and I'll have to check it out at some point. I know I keep saying that. I am trying to build up a list of everything people want to see me review, talk about, or even just get my nose on. But there's obviously a lot out there, and until I start actually really making money doing all this, I'm not going to be buying hardly any more fragrances unless it's just stuff I really want. As you can see, as far as expenses go, I've got most everything I could possibly need. Let me answer you real quick. Can you suggest a good perfume like Masculine Dominant Vibe 29? Well, you did post that already earlier, so I'm going to say this one more time. Amawage's Interlude Black Iris, fantastic choice for your desires. I used to live close to Tallahassee at one point. Now I'm in Ocala. I don't know if that's a cool place or not, but it's in the song, so I hope you enjoy that. But this bad boy right here, Black Iris or Naxos, fantastic choices for you that lean in that neutral point, but still masculine and good for someone with a beard. Any newer releases you're interested in? Sorry if someone asked already. First of all, never apologize for asking the same questions, because when I'm doing these live streams, I do them for an hour to 3 hours. And eventually, I'm going to start going even longer because it's really helping my channel. But to be honest with you guys, as far as stuff that's new releases I'm excited about, there is one in particular. So it's by Christian Louboutin or Louboutin. I know people say Louboutin, but I'm pretty sure in French it's Louboutin. So Christian Louboutin de la Rose. If you guys get your chance to get your nose on that, go to Nordstrom. It is one of the best rose fragrances I've ever smelled. It's a jammy rose, and it is one of the most beautiful fragrances I've ever smelled of all time. I don't have it, but I'm not going to have it anytime soon. Because like I said, me and my wife have a lot of stuff we got to focus on for her business, so I'm not going to be spending any money getting more expensive fragrances for a while. And La Rose by Christian Louboutin, and there's like 2 other fragrances by that house that I really want to get my hands on. They're $245 for a bottle this size, so 2.7 mil. So as you can imagine, nothing I'm going to be spending money on anytime soon personally. And I'm just going to go ahead and reiterate this for you guys who are watching, who are new here. I don't get paid for doing this channel. Just throwing this out there. Not only is nobody sending me free fragrances, not only is anybody not paying me to talk about fragrances, but YouTube's not even paying me yet to do this channel. So again, woe is me. I know you guys probably don't care who are new here or just screaming through. But again, as you see, I have my own official YouTube plaque, and yet YouTube's still not paying me yet. The good news is, for you guys to know, that's very exciting, is as I've been doing these live streams and you guys have been watching me and supporting me, my hours have been shooting up. Finally, YouTube's actually giving me credit for these things. So I projected that if I do this the best that I can and keep doing these live streams and talking to you guys and showing you guys and answering your questions, I'm getting roughly 30 hours of watch time every time that I do these reviews. If I keep doing this with you guys, if I keep doing these live streams, I'm projected to be able to finally start getting paid by this crap that I love doing, but YouTube is giving me the blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to finally start getting paid from this within the next 6 months. I know it's going to be a while, but if you guys keep hanging out with me and we keep talking, if you guys keep going and sharing and watching my actual review videos and stuff, thank you for watching my shorts. But don't worry about that. If you guys keep watching my actual 5 to 10 minute videos and commenting and stuff and giving me watch time, that's going to help me get there. But please, if you support me, I appreciate you so much. Share my videos. Sorry for you guys who are always here. I don't want to keep blowing you out with the same information. But as you can imagine, you guys who are saying that you like listening to me talk about fragrances and answering your questions, I love doing this with you too. And if I can start getting really paid for doing this, I can, first of all, continue to buy more fragrances you guys want to hear me do. I can get better equipment, better lighting, better cameras, build up a space where I can do this at. So the only rose fragrances, or at least notable ones, are Versace, It's Essential, and it's amazing. And I tried Toy Boy. I really want to try Toy Boy. I've had it suggested a couple times. I know I'm pretty sure you said it before as well. So I don't know how much Toy Boy is. I can't remember, but I'd like to get my nose on it because I love rose fragrances. So like I said, I ordered 2 dupes of rose fragrances that are coming in, but Mancera's Roses Vanille And then Roses Greedy are incredible rose fragrances if you're into them. My favorite rose fragrance is Oud Silk Mauve, but my second favorite is this, Rose Incense by Amouage, one of the absolute favorite fragrances in the entire world. Jeremiah Rasco, best perfume for humid, hot weather. Ooh, best? That's a tricky one. For humid, hot weather. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. I'm going to say Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense, or Club de Nuit Intense Parfum, or Eros Energy. Probably really good fragrances. I'm going to say, oh, you know what? Let me take that back. I'm going to take that back. Let me show you two of the best choices that you're probably going to get your hands on. If you got hot, humid weather, again, you guys are more than welcome to make suggestions in the comments. Please disagree if you have to. That's fine with me. I don't mind. But these right here, Herba Pura and Herba Gold by Xerjoff, fantastic, incredible, powerful fragrances for humid weather. You set your own limits. Don't give up. Keep reminding people to like and enjoy. See, Rob, that's my only problem. I know that I seem like a broken record for some people when I tell you guys, hit the like button, share these things, go watch my reviews, comment on them, watch them all the way through so I get that watch time. I feel like a douche when I do that. I have no choice but to do that if I want to get paid. I have no choice but to do that if I want to have my channel continue to grow. But at the same time, like, having a YouTube plaque is awesome, but it don't pay the bills. What's really cool and helps me keep doing these reviews for you guys is getting paid. So I feel like a douche when I say like and all that stuff, but please do. If you watch my videos and you like them, hit the like button and all that stuff. What's the difference between Herba Pura is a no-no, it's too feminine? Well, you know what? Okay, since you said that, I will help you out and answer you some better choices then. Like I said, Eros Energy, Club de Nuit Intense, perfect choices if you don't want something like this. If you think these are too feminine, if you think Herba Gold, Herba Pura is too feminine for you, Eros Energy is a perfect choice. Club de Nuit Intense Parfum. But I will also say, although this is risky of being feminine for you as well, Hyde Lodge's Island, fantastic choice. But what's the difference, you ask, between Herba Pura and Herba Gold? To be honest with you, they are very similar, except this one has a little bit more. Oh, sorry. They are very, very similar, except for Herba Gold has a little bit more of a creamy feel to it, a little bit less feminine feel, except it's still got that strong mango type of vibe. So that's just personally the only real difference, but they're very powerful. I will say to you, it's in a black bottle. I've got it down low, but I'm not going to get down and grab it right now. Opera by Xerjoff. An incredible, radiant fragrance for you to wear during the summertime. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. Jubilation, or this is Imitation by Amouage. Fantastic, fantastic choices for you guys during the summertime, if that's the type of feel you're going for in a humid climate. But again, anybody in the comments, more than welcome to suggest that. Omar, I will answer you in just a second. Need a suggestion? Hold on, Subat. I didn't see your comment. Suggest a good perfume. Well, no, I did. You might have missed it, buddy, but a good perfume. Are you talking about like a woman's perfume, or are you just talking about something masculine? Because like I said, Subrat, something that's perfect for you is going to be Interlude Black Iris by Amouage. So that is perfect for you, or as well, Naxos by Xerjoff. And what's the, let's see here. Signature Rose Zarha for rose lovers, risky blind buy. Not for me though, especially though I don't want to spend too much money. I do like some dupes. YouTube here, I'll answer you in a second. But Omar, you asked me about PDM Layton, so I will tell you, PDM Layton, pretty good fragrance. It has a little bit, everybody always talks about a Vicks Vapor Rub type of opening. It really does carry that, but it wears off pretty fast, and you mostly get this beautiful bergamot, apple, lavender feel. Very strong on the lavender, very medicinal on the lavender. If you probably have heard, Parfums de Marly's don't perform as good as they used to, but it's still a fantastic choice, and I think Layton is a really good option. Do I support dupes, though? I will talk about Tarathi Blue in just a second, Sublat, but this buddy here asked me about dupes. And again, you guys are more than welcome anytime, any place to ask me any questions you would like to, and I will answer them. So to get straight to the point, I think that dupes are okay for people who don't have the money. I think that if you really, really struggle, especially depending on where you're from, to be able to afford really higher price range perfumery, dupes are fine. But I don't respect dupes in the concept of artistry. I understand there's a lot of TikTokers out there who get literally paid by these companies. They receive free fragrances. So get angry at me if you have to, but I'm being dead honest with you here. Creativity-wise, any of these companies who have perfumers like, I don't know, like Biche or Maison Francis Kirkjohn, people who spent long careers expressing themselves, the perfumers over at Zerjoff who spent their careers expressing themselves through perfumery. Okay, I think that artistry wise, it's not creative to be duping things. It's just not. So on that sense, I don't approve. But I will say, and as well, materials wise, perfumery is something that involves not just appreciating the scent, but the materials that go into it if you really care about it that way. But if you don't care about that stuff, with all that said, I do like that there's a lot of decent options for the price range. So again, Liquid Brune, very fantastic. All that other stuff. Vanilla Dunes, Hadlaj Island, fantastic. Hamra by Latafa, fantastic choices for what they are. But again, I personally prefer the originals if they were made well. Not every expensive fragrance was made well, but I prefer the originals. Quentin Biche, he absolutely is blowing up. I'm sorry I didn't answer my buddy. So Tarathi Blue, I don't have it. I haven't even smelled it yet, but I've heard it's pretty good. If you guys have any things to put out there about that, please help me out if you would like to. But again, I'm not against people buying dupes if it's the best you can do. And that's perfectly fine. There's a lot of wonderful options. But I'm not going to push them in your face like everybody else on the internet's doing right now, because if you can, I highly suggest saving your money. In the meantime, going and sampling things as you can. Have a couple of cheapies in your collection to help you get by. But after you've got a couple of good cheapies you can rely on and depend on, then go start putting yourself investing in the real stuff. That's my suggestions to you guys. But now I'm going to, let's see, Le Beau Le Parfum, beautiful in the opening, too strong. Hadlaj Island's definitely more relaxed. I personally would say you should do so if you don't like the strength, because Le Beau Le Parfum is a powerhouse. It's a monster fragrance. So if you don't want the absolute radiance of Le Beau Le Parfum, which I prefer, I love Hadlaj Island, but I prefer Le Beau Le Parfum, go with Hadlaj Island because it is going to be a lot more relaxed overall, but definitely you're not missing out. Let's see here. What made you get into fragrances? I will finally answer that now that we've got the chance to do so. Hold on. Actually, let me see real quick. I'm going to check the time. 11:07. Okay, we're doing good. So if you guys really want to know what got me into perfumery, for any of you who haven't seen, who don't know, I had a very violent childhood. Just throwing it out there. Don't need anybody to apologize for me. That's just how it was. Again, by the way, anybody who drops through here, continue to ask me questions and I'll get to you when I can, but I'm answering my buddy here who asked me why I got into perfumery. So, violent childhood. I did love my parents, but things were very aggressive. And I mean literally pretty much every day for the most part. We had good peaceful battles or good peaceful times, but mostly very aggressive. It was not a good experience for me. But still, I love my family for what it's worth. With that being said, my mom, on the other hand, and my aunt both had perfumes. They weren't into it like I am, but they had perfumery, and I remember smelling them. I remember from a young age attaching memories to things and smells, even if it wasn't fragrances like this, even if it was just in real life, like spices and foods and stuff. I've always been the kind of person who attaches things that I connect to through that. So, again, during my childhood, a lot of times, whenever things were getting real bad, if it wasn't directed at me, I would escape to where my mom kept her fragrances, and I would just smell them. And it made me feel good. It calmed me down to just sit there and to smell her perfume. She had DKNY Delicious, the green apple scent. Made me feel really good. It made me feel at peace and happy. My dad had Dracar Noir. Made me feel good to just sit there and smell it. My brother also, before he moved out, had Davidoff Cool Waters. That's kind of my thing. Is like I realized, like, wow, there's a lot of comfort to be taken from scent and perfumery. The more I learned about the history of perfumery, I was very fascinated to see, like, wow, throughout time in India and the Middle East, later on, like in parts, in parts of Asia and so forth, perfumery has just always developed into a way for expression and as well for like celebrating kings and so forth and all that stuff. So just a lot of interest developed, and the more I've seen people make memories and stuff. Look out now. Yeah, I know. I move my hands too much when I talk. I always have. So I have a habit of throwing things because I also got butterfingers. Dusk by the Woods Collection, Latent Inspiration. Quentin Biche is, oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so yeah, definitely there's a lot of fragrances that I've never got my hands on. So if you guys, like I said, anytime you suggest things for me, I really appreciate it, and I welcome you guys. But yeah, with all that being said, you guys are welcome to continue to ask me questions. Anything you see here, if you got anything you want to ask me questions about, or in general, just basic life stuff, if you guys want to talk about it, let's do it. I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but other than talking about the fragrances as a whole, like I said, going forwards, I'm going to start occasionally doing readings from certain things to kind of teach you guys a little bit more about perfumery in general. So, which I know as somebody who doesn't have the most professional setup in the universe, who should be listening to me, right? But again, certain books like The Art of Perfumery and going over the actual history of perfumery and how it developed. That's something I think I would like to start doing for you guys so you get a little bit more of an education, not just about what fragrances you should buy that are current that you see here, but also kind of how perfumery developed over time. So if you really are interested, that's what I'm going to do from time to time going forward in the future. And it's just something I've been thinking about. With that also being said, there's some other things that I'm thinking about doing during these little things that I got going on here, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, anybody got anything that you would like to talk about? I am going to be getting off here soon. This was a little bit shorter than I normally do. But again, I am going to be jumping off here soon because I do got some stuff I got to go do today. And I got a little bit of a late start because as you see, I had something I needed to do. But please, I need to start learning how to make them. We could create some fragrances. Biggest advice to life you've learned. Bro, got a new look. I sure did, Sarthak. Just throwing that out there. I'm going to answer you other guys too here real quick. Yeah, scent is definitely associated with memory, good and bad. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, real quick, I'm going to go in opposite order. My buddy Sam purchased, because I gave him my Greenlee. He got for me Untold by Armaf. I was really excited to get that, Jonathan. I know you love that. And basically, he, while having it, got food poisoning last night, and he was wearing that fragrance, and he was like, wow, every time I smell this now, I'm going to think about getting food poisoning. But yes, Sarthak, I did the old head shave just to enjoy the summertime coming up. But with that being said, biggest life advice that I've got. Biggest life advice, honestly, to always be honest with yourself the best that you can. If you really want to know my life advice is to remember that you don't just have one purpose. There is purpose upon purpose in your life. You have multiple meanings that you are here for, every single human being. That's what, to me, again, I always like to be honest about my own thoughts, my feelings and beliefs. So as a person who 100% has reasons why I believe in God, I believe it's amazing to see that in this world, God has created like endless amounts of creativity and inspiration through every single person that exists. It's just fascinating to see that no matter how many people are made, there's always more individuality. Even if things have like multiple facets of copycats of other things that come together to make a person who they are, it's just like perfumery. There's a lot of things that can look alike, but they all have their own variation, and it just blows me away. So for me, remembering to try your best to be patient with yourself and with other people around you, to learn to be honest with yourself and to call yourself out on your own crap. Very important. Because back when I was like doing drugs and drinking and stuff like that, again, 7 years sober here, but before that, to be honest with you, yeah, for the most part, you might be self-aware or not of what you're doing right or wrong for yourself. So learning to just be honest with yourself and to be compassionate towards others, even if you disagree with them, that's some of the best things I can honestly say. That's a different perspective to having just a typical find your one purpose. I'm really glad that you said that, bro. Again, sorry, how's your legs? My legs are doing great. I thank you for asking me that, buddy. If you could make your own scent, what would you do? So I will, before I continue saying what I was going to say to my buddy Jonathan, I really wish that I could make fragrances. That's actually something I was trying to start studying to do, is to learn how to make perfumery. But it definitely takes a lot to understand, because one of the most important things constantly encouraged is learning safety and allergens, and as well, like to learn safety takes quite some time. That's why most perfumers are, in fact, chemists. They're trained in chemistry, which takes quite a while. But I would love to make my own fragrances. And I have the essential oils and so forth and fragrance blend ratios. And as well, I know how to get access to perfumers alcohol. But from my own job, I've got a lot of like real good quality essential oils and fragrance making materials. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. But if I could make my own fragrance, I'm going to put this one down because this one's way too slick. Some companies' bottles, the caps and stuff just shoot off like it's nothing. But yeah, as far as fragrances that I personally would do, let's see. Better to get your head off. Who's shining better, your head or my silver baddie? Probably my head. But let me see here. If I could make my own fragrances, what would I do? Ombre Alpha, so proud of you, brother. You're working a lot on your channel. Thank you so much for saying that. I really am. I'm trying to grind this out and be here with you guys because two things. First of all, like I said, really want to get my hours up. Really want to get to that point where I'm making money doing this. But also, it's been really meaning a lot to me to be here with you guys. It's actually meant the world to me sitting here talking with you dudes, especially during these tough times, like with my grandma and stuff like that. I've been having actual fun, like while my wife is at work. She hasn't been able to take the time off like I have until the time comes my grandma passes and then we have the funeral. So I've been having these days off, and honestly, it's been just fantastic to kind of be here with you guys and talk about this stuff. So as long as I can do it, I will do it. I'll tell you how to get a 10-10 baddie any tip. I'll come back to that in just a second. But to talk to my buddy Jeremiah here about having the one purpose. See, that's the whole thing for me, is like a lot of people out there I've come to realize throughout my life, they feel anxious because you feel like you're not doing what you were meant to do, right? You feel like, what am I following my purpose? And I realized why all my life that causes so much anxiety to believe you've got one purpose. So if you live your whole life thinking that you've only got one meaning you're supposed to go for, and you're not achieving that because you don't even really know what that is, you're going to constantly feel like you're failing, and you're going to constantly feel in pain because you're not living up to these standards for yourself. For me, I realized not very long ago, one of my good buddies, he is a baker from Paris. His name is Ben. He has a bakery here where I live. He's an amazing guy. His parents are from Tunisia. He's a beautiful, beautiful soul. So makes some of the best baked goods you've ever had. He was telling me the other day that they don't believe, especially where he's from, in one purpose, that they believe there's endless opportunities and you got to choose your path along with finding out what fits for you and your personal soul as it was baked into you when you were born. So that's what he believes, and he's right. At the end of the day, again, if you just think there's one purpose, you'll never achieve it, and you'll constantly feel like you're failing. If you realize that you were made with endless purposes, well, not endless, but you were made with a lot of purposes in life and not just one, you will continue to gradually realize, wow, I have different meaning in every part of my life. As a dad, as a husband, as a friend, whatever. If you continue to realize you don't just have one purpose, but multiple, you realize even if I'm not succeeding at this thing, I'm succeeding at these other things. So there is no one single goal you were meant to achieve or you fail. So if you can realize that, your life will change for sure. But tell you how to get a 10 out of 10 baddie. If you're talking about a lady, honestly, it just, again, whoever ends up being the person for you by being yourself, it will make a huge difference, buddy. That's the great thing about perfumery. I used only one to get into fresh fragrances, but now I'm all over the place. Absolutely, dude. It's oud, never thinking I would get into oud, and I always found oud heinous. Hey, listen, that's the whole thing. You never know what you're going to end up liking as you go on this journey. How's the performance? Parfums de Marly Sedley. And what else did I miss? Yuvraj, I'm going to talk to you about Hinduism here in a second. I'm going to be a cool uncle in the future, not a dad, but a cool uncle. Well, hey, if you don't end up being a dad, I'm sure you're going to be an absolutely amazing uncle. But I'll answer you in a second about the Hindu thing. But how's the performance on Sedley? I don't own Sedley. I own but gave away Greenleaf. I have tried Sedley, though. And to be honest with you, I would say for the price range, not the best in the world. I would say that Sedley's probably like if I had to say, like, it's probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Because for me, my favorite fragrances, Naxos, Amouage Interlude, Oud Silk Mood, stuff like that. Even Stronger With You Parfum. These are fragrances that perform. Sedley and Greenleaf to me just fell flat. Then again, though, a lot of Parfums de Marly's don't perform the way I would like them to. For the price and how good they smell, I would rather them last a lot longer and be more loud. So here, Diego, I just love the art. Collect Freshly Gourmand, all categories. Me too. I love the art of these, and I just love having them and appreciating them. This is why I personally don't really go too much. I don't really love the cheaper fragrances. Not that they're bad, but just for me personally, although there are some cheap fragrances that do really well at this, for the most part, I'm obsessed with Xerjoff, Amouage, and companies like that because they do something different that's special and beautiful and really speaks to the soul. The art behind perfumery is very interesting. It is, because when a person is a perfumer, they are a scientist and yet an artist at the same time. Here's what's so fascinating about perfumery. When you go into making, when a perfumer like Aaron Terrence Hughes, Quentin Biche, when Maison Francis Kirkjohn, and so many other perfumers are sitting down, Dominique, when they are sitting down and they're about to start making something, their brain is in two directions, which doesn't happen very often. Usually you've got art and then something is getting sacrificed. So you've got science and something's getting sacrificed. With perfumery, inside of this bottle right here, when I hold up something to you guys, like, let's go again with like a Baccarat Rouge, right? When I hold up Baccarat Rouge in front of you, the extract de parfum, this is, oh, by the way, Jeremiah, thank you for following me, dude. Listen to me speak well spoken despite the bad childhood. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. Like, I appreciate it. You know, we are going to be affected by our upbringing, but you don't have to be a full product of it. You got to get yourself out there. Bro, in our country, being in conflict with a neighbor, Pakistan, I'm praying, please, there could be none. Hey, I hope, and comics of tomorrow, thank you for being here, buddy. I appreciate you stopping through. I don't know if you want to ask anything or you just want to hang out, but you're welcome to be here while I'm still doing this for a little bit longer before I got to go. But like I was trying to say before, I'm just going to finish this thought. Perfumery as an art is so incredible, like I said, because inside of this bottle right here, all right, regardless of how you feel about Baccarat Rouge or whatever, when they sat down to make this person was thinking from the scientific standpoint of balancing the chemicals and the ratios and the levels and thinking about everything from the legalities that are going to be tested, from the things that are going to be like the materials, how much can I put in to make the right and safe amounts that are going to be allergenic or not. They're thinking all this scientific stuff, but at the same time, the perfumer is sitting there looking at this and going, I got to express myself though. All the science stuff, we're just going to use this as a tool, as a basis. What do I want this to smell like? I've been training around all these materials and how they smell in their profiles. What do I want to make right now? And then they just start throwing these materials together little bit by little and building something, like painting a beautiful painting. That's what's happening when these perfumers are making these fragrances. So when Maison Francis Kirkjohn was creating Baccarat Rouge, he wasn't just sitting there thinking, let me throw some stuff together and make something happen, make some sludge. He was like, I want to put some stuff together and see what really expresses from my heart right now with this concept that I'm feeling and I'm thinking, the colors, the scent profile, it all comes together. And when this was finished, that's what you know will make a really beautiful perfume. A really beautiful fragrance is something where when it is done and you smell it, it smells complete. When you smell Oud Silk Mood, when you smell Grand Soir, these are fragrances that you go, that's finished. He completed that. There are fragrances you can smell, and here's the problem with dupes and clones, is compared to, don't get me wrong, there's expensive ones that smell incomplete, but with a lot of dupes and clones, they're missing that finesse that made it fully well-rounded, just to get that core that people want to buy for cheap. So anyway, what's the meaning of amen? I'll answer that in just a second, buddy. Do you have Zahara signature rose? I do not, but I want to get that. And Halfeti Black Rose, I don't have that either. I love rose fragrances. I have a handful, but I don't have those. But thank you for reminding me of those. What's my favorite fragrance type? Gourmand, Oriental, Fougere, Oud, Fresh. I'd say probably a blend of Oriental with Gourmand. I like, yeah, I'd say Oriental, Gourmand, something like that is probably my typical favorite overall. But I like Oriental and Fresh, depending on what you mean by fresh, because I like florals. So Orientals and florals are probably my absolute favorite, then Gourmand, then so forth and going on into there. But I got the signature rose sampling coming in today. Well, at Comics, I hope you absolutely love those. Please, if you're here the next time I stream, let me know how those go. I'd love to hear about it. But to my buddy Euphrates, amen basically is just like the completion of a prayer. It's basically just giving it a well-rounded ending of giving gratitude towards God. There's a little bit more to it than that, but to be honest with you, if I get into that, it's going to be kind of boring for most people. You did ask me, though, if I'm Hindu. I am not. I've read the Bhagavad Gita. I've read the Upanishads, the Parama, so forth. I read through these because I have great appreciation for world belief systems and religions. Just to be very clear with you guys, I am basically what you would call a Christian. When I say that, I don't want you to think of like Southern American Christian, although there's nothing wrong for people being what they feel pulled towards. But that is what I am. But I have read the Quran. I've read it 3 times now, and I'm reading through it again. And I really have appreciation for where the people's beliefs come from it. I have no disrespect towards it. So just throwing it out there. I love reading different texts for different beliefs, not so that I can debate people or argue or make fun of or break apart, but because I believe in, just like with my own beliefs and how I even got to the point of believing what I believe, going through the history, just like I love doing with perfumery, to the best of my ability to understand how people, when these texts were coming together over thousands of years, coming to understand what they mean to the people of the time and not now. That's how I like to come and get to know things. So, bro, I asked, I am Hindu, and you really appreciate and admire our culture. I do. Love you, bro. I love you very much. Like anybody who's watching this, when I say that, when I say the word love, I'm not saying that for fun. You guys watching, asking questions. When I tell you that I love you guys, I mean that with sincerity. Believe me or not, that's fine. If you don't care, that's okay as well. If you hate me, if you think I'm stupid, whatever, that's fine. But I love you guys. When you guys watch, when you guys talk to me here, when we get to know each other, that means so much to me because we are humans. Whatever your belief system is, whatever walk of life you are, right? Just like perfumery brings memories and people together, conversations like I have during these live streams are extremely important because we are people connecting to each other. I don't know if you're hurting right now. I don't know what you're going through, and you don't know everything that I'm going through, but together, when we have these moments of talking, this is what I believe we were meant for. And I do appreciate different people's culture because as a Christian, if you're a Hindu, if you're a Muslim, and vice versa, if I was a Muslim, let me tell you something. A lot of people out there crap on Muslims, don't they? A lot of people out there, especially here in America, have problems with people who follow Islam because you don't understand it, or because of extremists doing what extremists do. People of all different beliefs do that. But let me tell you something. If you think people who are Muslim are bad, you don't even know what to even start with understanding what the Quran teaches. If you think a Christian, if you think a Hindu, whatever your judgments are, you know about Hinduism, you start judging the caste system. Do you even know anything about the caste system or how it became implemented in the way that it is today in India? Do you know? So you can't really speak on things even in a little bit if you don't have respect enough to learn about people's culture and history to show love to people. You're sleeping now, more streams to come. So many more streams to come. Appreciate you. I would love to have you back, Jeremiah, in my audience. The most important religion is humanity. I'm not going to use the word religion there, but the most important connection, the most important piece of belief systems is supposed to be humanity, right? Because if you have a belief system, again, if you're Christian, Muslim, and so forth, Hindu, you believe we were either created or came from creation. Whatever you believe in that stance, what you do know for sure is we're all humans. We're all part of this world. Again, just like perfumery. When you look at my shelves here, what do you see? You see all types of fragrances. And sure, maybe some of them are going after on purpose to be dupes and clones of another. But regardless, at the same time, whether it's unique, distinct, or similar, at the end of the day, you see all different types, and yet they have beauty of their own. It doesn't matter if this one's for you. What matters is this one was still created and there's beauty to it. It doesn't matter if this one's for you. So I'm sorry for getting into all this stuff with you guys if you don't like it. I'm not actually sorry because it's my channel and I can talk about what I want. And I love doing this. I love interacting with you guys about stuff because my channel is not just fragrance. My channel is everything. Again, I've almost died multiple times in my life. Probably not a shocker to some of you guys with some of the things I've told you about with myself. I used to do really bad things. And nowadays, I'm just grateful to be alive. And I thank God every day that I'm here. And when you guys watch and when we talk and you ask me questions and we get to connect about stuff, yes, perfumery is one of my biggest passions in life. Yes, this is the medium for connecting to you guys, but really it's all about these connections that we have from conversations. So I don't know if you're feeling lonely today. I don't know if you're in pain today, if you're going through loss, heartbreak, whatever you're experiencing, dude, at least you got to be here for a little while and we got to talk. And that means something, doesn't it? So seriously, like I said, I appreciate you guys so very much. Yeah, I'd probably and never knew it. I'm glad I'm off all that mess. Exactly, dude. Me too. And to you guys out there who are getting sober and giving up alcohol, giving up drugs and stuff, dude, I'm so proud of you. I encourage you so much. And I'm thankful that you're still alive. To the few, right now there's 11 people watching. To you 11 guys watching, I just want you to know, I'm grateful you woke up today. Again, it doesn't maybe don't mean nothing to you. Maybe you don't believe me. But dude, I'm grateful that you're still here. So kind of kids come first, my man. They absolutely do. So with that being said, thankful for you guys. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and call this off here in just a couple of minutes. I was about to have a baby. My girlfriend got pregnant, but I was 2 years in depression. Well, you know what, buddy? That's a very heavy thing that you had to go through. And I'm so sorry that you went through that pain. Yuvraj, I've never personally experienced that. But for you personally having to deal with 2 years of depression because of that really is sad and painful. And I'm glad that you're still here, buddy. I'm glad you didn't let that, I'm glad that you didn't let that depression completely claim you. Because if it did, you wouldn't be here today and I wouldn't get to know who you are. And it means a lot to me, Yuvraj. So I'm sorry that you went through that pain. And I'm glad you're still here. Maybe one day, you never know. Maybe somehow still it will be in the cards for you to have a family of your own that you get to share perfumery with, and maybe one day we'll all get to continue to talk, and who knows what will happen. But either way, I'm very sorry that happened to you, and I send nothing but love to you, buddy. Like I said, if you're here with me in some way or another, dude, we're family now. So, like I said, my life, my whole YouTube is about fragrances, but it's about so much more than that. That's why in the title it always says fragrance, life, and more. Whatever you guys got going on in your mind, you don't just have to ask me about fragrance. If anybody out there is going through anything and you like to just comment it right now, dude, let's talk about it. That's fine with me. So, anybody dropping through here, if you do want to ask me about fragrances, please come on down. Bruh, you know this kind of situation, I have found my comfort zone. Hey, that's awesome. I want you to continue to have comfort in this life. Anybody who's coming through here, especially on my channel, just so you know, other than asking about fragrances and stuff, my channel is also a safe space, guys. Come on down. The prices are right. Come on down. Everybody sees the fragrances. Tell me which one you want to know about today. See, that's like hosting a TV show, but we're going to keep it more chill. But seriously, we might be talking about fragrances, but you guys bring whatever you got here and we'll shoot the breeze and see if we can't hash it out. That's one of the most important things in life, right? Fellowship. That's what I believe in. If you're going through things, one of the best things to help you get through that is to have people to share it with. That's what we're here for. We weren't meant to be all alone. My grandma loved that show. I never personally watched The Price is Right. So my grandma, not the one who's about to pass away, but my grandma who already passed away, she loved Westerns. She loved watching like Bonanza and all that stuff. I don't know if you guys, any of you out there know what that is. Well, my grandma used to like watching Matlock and Westerns and things like that. I'm off from my work and now I'm having my favorite egg fried rice. Ooh, that sounds fantastic. You're Indian. I don't want to be like just assumptive, but I don't know if you like biryani. So me and my wife used to eat biryani every single day. And what else did we eat? One of my wife's closest friends, Jess Surti, her family's Punjabi, and they're from India. And we used to go over there, and they make all kinds of stuff, and it was absolutely fantastic food. I love Bonanza now. What are you talking about? Oh, you like Bonanza? Hey, man. Listen, maybe not everybody knows what that is, but my grandma was crazy about watching Westerns and stuff. Personally, I wasn't too big into Westerns when I was younger, but I kind of have appreciation for them now. But yeah, dude, everybody's a little bit different, but yeah, I didn't watch The Price is Right. That wasn't really my thing. I grew up watching the Sanford and Son. I grew up watching the Three Stooges and stuff like that with my dad. That was what I was all about. Biryani, bro, it's freaking love, bro. Oh, yeah, absolutely, dude. It's delicious. I'm sorry for your loss. Hey, it's okay, Diego. Hey, man, like I said, I just appreciate my life. I appreciate you guys even being here. And for me, you know, my grandma, she passed, I believe it's been about 7 or 8 years now. I mean, my aunt as well around that time. But it's okay. Life happens, and all we can do our best is to appreciate what comes and goes. I wasn't either. I love being at my grandparents' house. My granddaddy was into like UFO stuff. It's really funny you say that. So my father-in-law actually likes watching Ancient Aliens and all that stuff, and he's always kind of talking about UFOs. To be honest with you guys, whoever's watching, let's take a pause for a second about fragrance. If you have a fragrance question, go ahead, ask me whatever, fire away. I don't care. But I just want to throw this out there. Do you guys believe in aliens? Like outer space, flying on a spaceship, flying saucer type of aliens? I really just want you guys' opinions. My grandpa recently passed away too, about 2 weeks. No, oh, Diego, I'm so sorry to hear that, dude. I send nothing but love your way, man. And God bless you, brother. I'm sorry that you're going through that, dude. Well, I hope that you're okay, and I hope your family's getting through this tough time. Your granny lived her life. Hope she's going to be. Hey, you know what? My granny did live her life, and she had a fantastic time. Now, personally, I don't believe in like a reincarnation just myself, but I appreciate you saying that, and I totally understand the beauty behind the cycle. And thank you for saying that, buddy. I believe that my grandma is out there somewhere enjoying her time in the afterworld. I think they come from the ocean. UFOs. You think UFOs come from the ocean? I think that's what you mean. Like I said, anybody dropping through here, please ask me about fragrances. Ask me whatever you want to know. I keep forgetting when I see new numbers of viewers coming through while we're talking about other stuff. What's up, Douglas? What's up, M? Thank you for being here, buddy. Like I said, ask me whatever you want about questions. Ask me whatever you want about questions. Ask me whatever you want about fragrances. But in the meantime, just throwing this out there, I just do want to know, do you guys believe in aliens? I know it's probably a strange question, especially if somebody coming through here, he sees a dude like me with no hair. Probably sounds kind of wacky. But I'd love to know what you guys think about that kind of stuff. Bro, have you read Bonku Babu by Sunday? Right? It's about aliens. I have not read that, but thank you for suggesting that, because here's the cool thing about you guys being from other places and other cultures is you're able to tell me about not only fragrances, but books and stuff I've never heard of. Get your hands on anything from Argos yet. the rose fragrance. I have not, buddy. Thank you for asking. Somebody asked me earlier about Argos fragrances. I have not gotten my hands on any of those yet, but I definitely want to, and I appreciate that. Forgive me, and not the rose ones, but I do got 2 rose fragrances coming in, but they're cheaper. Ever wonder why we don't search the ocean more? You know, it's very interesting. The ocean is what they say, like we barely know anything about what's going on under there. I don't know if that's true. I'm not, an oceanographer, but they do say that we hardly even know what's happening under there, and it's probably the case, right? But it's pretty cool. I love the ocean. I love stuff like anglerfish. They're pretty fun. I believe that there very well could be life elsewhere, not only physical life, but interdimensional. So here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing about that, right? So for instance, me and my father-in-law, like every Wednesday, not every Wednesday, but parts of Wednesdays and stuff, do you have Zurge Off the Dawn? I do not have Zurge Off the Dawn. I've got other parts of that series. I've got More Than Words. I've got 40 Knots. And what was the other one? There was one other one from that. Okay, there's the opera. So that's not from the same series. I don't have Zurge Off the Dawn, but I've heard it's pretty decent, and I would like to get my nose on it. I guess you are also emotionally attached to this game. If you were a game freak, it's IGI2. I'm not sure what IGI2 is. If you could, or the new Zurge Off Black Moonlight Duran Duran. I don't have any of those. I haven't even got to smell those yet, but I really, really want to. As soon as I saw that they were even, collaborating with Duran Duran, I immediately was like, oh, God, I can't wait for them to come out. About the Dawn 2. Yep. JJ also asked me about that. I definitely want to give it a shot when I get the chance. But no, the new Duran Duran line, there's 2 of them that just came out with Zurge Off, and they look fantastic. I love that they do that kind of stuff. I've never played Doom personally. So I know it came out when I was younger, but for a very long time, I didn't have a gaming console. So the last one I had before I got a PS5, I had a PlayStation 2 when I was very young, and then I didn't have one for a very long time. What's the second one? What you talking about? The second what? Oh, the second Duran Duran fragrance. I'm not sure what it's called, because I know one of them is supposed to be very rich and earthy. The other one excited me because it has a fig note to it, I'm pretty sure. The other Zurge Off Duran Duran fragrance is supposed to be kind of, I think it's supposed to be like a spicy fig. I need to go to the store. I'll see you later. Live stream's going really well. It's good to see. Thank you so much, Sammy. I really appreciate you being here, buddy. Well, I hope you have an incredibly beautiful day, buddy. But I played PS2 for more than 8 years. PS2 was super fun. I loved it when I had it originally. It was really, truly a good time. Well, with that being said, you guys, I really do got to get out of here. I've had an ocean. What's fun? What's that red Mancera in my hands? Okay, I'll answer it in just a question. In just a second, let me see what time it is. So right now, this is actually pink. It just looks red because of the lighting. But this is Roses Greedy by Mancera. It's one of my favorite Mancera fragrances, and it is just a pure, beautiful garden rose. My favorite grain. Holy cow. Yuvraj, you just made my freaking day. Crazy Taxi was one of the most awesome games ever. I'm so happy somebody out there knows what Crazy Taxi was, because so many people that I see talking about games never heard of it. But, dude, how old are you, Yuvraj, if you don't mind me asking? Crazy Taxi was one of the most fun games ever made. I played it at a pizza place that we had locally. It was so much fun, amazing. So I'm super cool that you know that, and glad that you brought that up. But, by the way, guys, not just fragrances. Ask me whatever you want about fragrances if you come through here. But also, I'd love to know like what culture you guys are interested in. So you're from India. Is there any other cultures here that you're interested in? I grew up in the 90s. I know what it is, made by Sega. Absolutely. Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. I never played Jet Set Radio. I know what it is, but I never got my hands on it. You want to know what one of my favorite games of all time was? When I was a very small child. So I was born in 1993. When I was a small kid, dude, my brother had a Super Nintendo. And he had Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. And that was one of the funnest games ever. I love Ninja Turtles, and Donatello was like my absolute favorite. Why would I mind you asking my age? I'm 26 years old. Hey, you never know. Some people don't like being asked how old they are. So I'm just making sure I'm being respectful, buddy. But hey, thank you for telling me. Don't get me started on Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo was one of the coolest. Just throwing this out there, the experience of being a little kid and playing Super Nintendo was one of the most amazing things ever. So I'm being dead serious, you guys. Playing Super Nintendo was one of the coolest experiences that I ever had in my entire life. So I love playing PS5. It's really fun. But yeah, By the way, anybody new who's dropping through here, I see there's 15 people watching right now. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit the like button. But also, please feel free to comment me and ask me some questions about fragrances if you've got any questions. Turtles in Time was one of the greatest games of all time. It absolutely was. Turtles in Time was so much fun. It was crazy. Shout out from Singapore, Fish. Thank you for being here from Singapore, buddy. My grandma played the regular Nintendo. By the way, also, again, just throwing this out there, if you ever got the chance to play the original Game Boy Color, that was so magical, dude. I used to be crazy. Pokemon was my absolute jam. When I was little, I had the Pokemon Yellow, and I still have this vivid memory, this very special memory I have when me, and it was Christmas time. And any of you guys, maybe, I don't know about other countries, but in America here, they had the Christmas time truck that had Santa Claus on the side, the Coca-Cola truck. And I remember riding down the street, and I got my Pokemon Yellow, and I was just playing. It was such a beautiful experience. You shouldn't ask a woman about her age. You're right. That's what they tell you. Now, for me, I'm a little rambunctious. Every now and then I ask a lady very nicely, may I ask how old you are? But only for specific reasons. They have Turtles in Time in arcades. They do. But they have it on PlayStation 5. I don't know if you guys look in the PS Store, but they had a variation of the Turtles game. So it's not Turtles in Time, but it's just like it. It plays just like it. If you get the chance, go check it out. And it's multiplayer, by the way. You know anything about female fragrances? Caroline, thank you for asking, buddy. Peace out, y'all. Got to go. JJ, I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Got to miss the prayer, but I'm with you. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, Caroline, I'm about to answer your questions. I do know plenty about female fragrances. Actually, that's how I got my start in perfumery, was growing up with my mom's fragrances and then branching off into only, just a fun fact, you guys don't know this, but I used to only wear women's fragrances for an extremely long time before I started buying my own. But peace out. Hope you have a great day, JJ. But I will answer you, Caroline. Do you got any questions that you would like to know about female fragrances, or would you just like me to tell you some things as suggestions? Don't know if you have anything from Aaron Terrence Hughes yet, but the next drop is in an hour and a half. So here's the problem. What it takes to get a play button. So to get a play button, you have to have 100,000 subscribers. That's what it takes to get a play button. You know what? Instead of holding fragrances, I'm just going to hold this bad boy for a little while. I probably shouldn't, because you can see how dinged up it is, which is very unfortunate. But if nothing else, you can see my name there, Douglas Moon Fragrance, even though it's all dinged to pieces. Bro, you used to wear women's perfume. What indeed you had. So I used to, like when I was younger, because I only could really have what my mom had because they wouldn't like buy me much stuff. We used to wear like Victoria's Secret junk, which, by the way, for the time, was pretty decent. Bath and Body Works sprays as well was pretty okay. But my mom had like Love Spell, which I actually don't like that smell anymore. And then as well, like I said, DKNY Delicious and Marc Jacobs Daisy is what my mom used to wear a lot. So pretty decent women's fragrances. But let me see. Peace out, y'all. Hope you have a great day. Yeah, so if anybody's got any questions about women's fragrances, I will definitely help you out. But yeah, to get a silver play button, you got to have 100,000 subscribers. And as far as M asking me, I would love to get Aaron Terrence Hughes fragrances, but to this day, he's still not selling to America. If he starts selling, if I find out I can get my hands on one, I'll buy one today. If Aaron Terrence Hughes, because I want Hard Candy Elixir so bad, and a couple other one of his fragrances, if that man, oh my gosh, I want so bad for him to send me stuff. Or not to him to send me stuff. Like he deserves to be paid, so I'll do what I can. One of my girlfriend's fragrances. Me too, dude. There's also Taria from Rue 21, which is really nice. Is there something for females that smells close to the male fragrance? That's a little tricky. First of all, thank you for asking the question. So I will say this. I'm not sure what all your tastes are. As far as something just like that for women, I don't really know a perfect way to explain it to you, but these are some pretty good choices. If you want something a little more bright and fruity, Green Extravaganza by Valentino, but as well, if you want something a little bit more marshmallowy, but yet not cheap, not dirty, if you want something a little bit more marshmallowy with a beautiful sensuality that has a little more lift, a little more spiciness to it, I definitely recommend any of the Black Opium line. Go check those out if you can get the chance to do so. Any of the Black Opium line by YSL. If you like something a little more floral, but yet not, again, cheap, but beautiful, Blue Jasmine by Dolce & Gabbana. Recently, they've also got out this very beautiful coffee type of gourmand. Again, doesn't smell cheap, though. Beautiful coffee gourmand fragrance here. The Devotion by Dolce & Gabbana. Fantastic choice. And Victor and Rolf has the Elixir Intense of Good Fortune. Those are pretty decent choices as well for something kind of in that same field, but not quite the same. Pretty sure he does. I heard he was setting up UPS shipping warehouses in the spring. I'm going to have to go check that out because I definitely really, really want to get his stuff here. But like I said, it's just been really difficult because so far all his stuff has been constantly sold out and not shipping to the U.S. But if he starts shipping here, I'm going to get one as soon as possible. Do you remember the first fragrance your mom wore that got me into the game? I do. So the very first one that I connected to, like I said, was DKNY, the green bottle, Be Delicious. That was the very first one that I ever connected to. Tell me how my legs are feeling. Fantastic, you flowers. Thank you for asking. But yes, Redbeard is totally in here right now. But if, like I said, I'm going to do my best to find out if Aaron Terrence Hughes' new fragrances are shipping, and I'm going to get them right away if I can. Not all of them, but I'm going to get a few of them if I get the chance to do so. But yeah, DKNY Be Delicious was the first one that my mom ever had that I can remember for sure. But I just want to tell you guys again, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for taking the time to ask me questions, for watching and all that stuff. Like, it means the world to me. They're shipping to the U.S. now. Are you serious? Hold on a second, you guys. Wait just a second. Let me get my hands on the phone charger real fast. I'm sure you guys can hopefully hear me here in the bathroom. But, dude, I'm so glad that you just brought that up. Let me take a look while we're here on the stream. Black Desert. This company, Blizzard. Oh, just look, another company trying to hit me up about a sponsorship. Not going to do it. But anyway, don't think you can get the past fragrance though. That would suck. Max Aroma usually gets them and sells out in minutes. Gabriel Colognes, thank you for letting me know that, dude. First of all, thank you for being here. Aaron Tennessee Forbidden is probably the best thing. Okay, so immediately then, I'm going to look this up real quick to see if I can find his fragrances. I'm not sure if any of them have been released just yet. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry for doing this while we're live, but I really need to know if I can get my hands on any of these things because, my goodness, I've been wanting to get some of his fragrances for a very long time. I know that man's never going to respond to me. I've literally still an hour left. I've really been trying to get I tried to message him. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I tried to message the dude on Instagram just to ask him, hey, is there any chance you could tell me? But of course, he's busy and he doesn't know who I am. So I'm not seeing, where are you guys saying that you can get these at? Is there a certain place that you can buy them? It drops at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. All right. So let me make this very clear to you guys. I'm not still going to be live streaming at that point, but as soon as they do, oh no, who's calling me? Spam. I just got a spam call. Google Aaron Terrence Hughes. So since you guys told me that, thank you so much, dude, because I might have to, I don't know how much they're going to be. It really depends on the price. If they're too expensive, like if they don't have if he doesn't sell like a small bottle for a reasonable price, I'm not going to be able to do it. It is what it is. But if he has them for a reasonable enough price, then I'm going to have to do it. I love spam. Me too, if you're talking about the spam sandwiches. They are fantastic. I live in North Carolina, so I grew up with a little ditty called liver pudding. I don't know. Some people call it liver mush. I hate that. There's supposed to be different things, I think. But liver pudding is absolutely delicious. Anytime, my friend. I appreciate you guys so much. Like, thank you for giving me these suggestions and letting me know about Aaron Terrence Hughes because, oh my God, I can't wait if his stuff comes out. And like I said, if I can't afford it, I'm totally going to get one because I've been dying to get one of his fragrances. That is like, as lame as this might sound to some people, my hope and dream is that one day I get to meet that guy in person. That is one of my main goals. The only thing I really want to do other than be able to just be paid for this and to like continue to talk to you guys about fragrances is I hope I get to meet Aaron Terrence Hughes one day. We got you, man. I'm usually on top of stuff. You guys are like super insanely helpful for me every time that I do these things. So I appreciate you. Like I said, dude, we're becoming like real friends on here. Please, if you watch me, don't think I'm just a YouTuber. Hopefully you can see I don't look professional. I might have a lot of fragrances behind me, but I'm pretty sure I don't look too professional. I had to reconnect there for a second. But please, for the love of all goodness, don't think that I just see you guys as fans or whatever, or just followers. I really like to think of us developing like an actual friendship here. So when you guys help me out and comment stuff, I really appreciate that a lot. But like I said, here in a couple more minutes, I'm probably going to go ahead and end it exactly at 2 hours because I am a little bit of a stickler for numbers being matched up properly. But yeah, if you guys got any more questions before I go, you guys got anything you want to know about, please go ahead and do it. If you got any more information, if there's anything you guys would like to talk about before I go, please go ahead and do so. Also, throwing this out there, and only a few people are really going to care about this. Not trying to be strange. It might actually murder my channel. I don't know. But I am thinking about, since I used to do a ministry anyways, for you guys who don't know what that is, it's a Christian term basically for speaking about God, talking about some stuff, going through some scripture. I've been thinking about, instead of restarting that old channel that I used to have, just on Sunday mornings, doing like a small live little sermon type deal for anybody who doesn't have a church that they go to. So again, like, regardless of what your beliefs are and all that stuff, I'm gonna be very respectful about those things. It has nothing to do with fragrances. So like I said, if I do decide to do that, it could be really bad, really potentially bad for my channel. I don't know. Again, while I do that, I'll probably do it right here anyway, so people can still ask me fragrance questions, and somehow maybe I'll even incorporate that. But for anybody who's interested, just throwing this out there, it'll probably be very bad for numbers. But Mehdi, thank you for being here, buddy. But like I said, Sundays, like in the morning, I'm thinking about doing that for like half an hour or something like that, just doing little sermons or whatever, because that's something I used to do. I love doing it, and it'll be more faith based, so it won't be for everybody. But yeah, so Redbeard, I don't know if you'll have the chance to come through for that type of thing. I'll try to let you know what time it is. It's going to be like a very interactive sermon, so almost like a Bible study type deal together. But yeah, think about doing that on Sundays. Just something nice to do, because I used to do that, and it could be a little bit fun, whatever. But anyway, hey, buddy, hope you're doing good, Mehdi. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys for stopping through. Faith and fragrances. Absolutely. That's pretty much going to be my tagline going forward. Douglas Moon, faith and fragrance. I literally, at one point in time, but I don't want to pigeonhole, not in the sense like I'm not grateful and thankful for my beliefs, but I didn't want to like push people out or whatever. What does F and F? Yeah, I like that. I didn't want to push like people out completely, because I felt like if my name on YouTube was Douglas Moon, Faith and Fragrance, or Fragrance and Faith, obviously that would like completely halt a lot of people from coming and even checking out and talking or whatever. Because again, I'm fully respectful of all my buddies out there, my brothers and sisters and family in this world who are Muslim or anything that you are. So not trying to shut anybody off or down regardless of where they're from, but just throwing it out there and putting it out there. I'm totally, plus I also got my silver plaque. It might be beat all to pieces, but it still says my name. So I'm going to keep it as it is. But just throwing this out there, by the way, sometimes when I do this for so long, I do start to kind of space out just for a second. No joke. When I just saw my own bald head, I freaked out for a minute and thought, what happened to me? But we do love everybody around here. Guys, please, hello. Help. What's wrong, Mehdi? You okay? You doing all right, buddy? Like I said, you come through here, you got anything you got going on, please take your time. Hey, bro, I'll be real with you. I'm Muslim, and I think it's a good idea. I follow you because you're a good dude, plus your favorite. Hey, well, thank you for saying that, dude. Like I said, I 100% love and respect my Muslim brothers. Because while I myself, like I said, I read the Quran. I love reading. I'm reading the Quran again today when I go do my studies. I might not be Muslim. Me too, I'm Muslim, Mehdi. Still, again, I might not personally be Muslim, but I have ultimate respect for the Quran, and I hate the way that a lot of people view and treat Muslim people, because they don't understand the differences between extremes versus, like, I believe what's the difference? Sunni versus Shia and so forth. I try to really learn and understand it so I can connect to people and not to like convert or hurt people. But I can see how it'll cross the line with certain individuals. It will, but at the end of the day, that's okay, because I'm not here to make everybody happy. Me too. Oh, okay. But like I said, I want people who are here to be genuine. Sure, it would be awesome to have like a gajillion people. It'd be awesome to have like 3 million followers. But, well, I can't support that, buddy. I really cannot support that. And that is the type of comment that I can't really have on my things. Thank you, Redbeard, for getting that out of here, because not trying to offend everybody, but I'm not going to welcome people hating other cultures and things along those lines. See, it's more faith than culture. So it's more faith than culture you're interested in. I'm not sure. I guess if you're asking, like, am I interested in other people's cultures or their faiths? They kind of have to go hand in hand. And it might not make a lot of sense for some people, but to be completely honest with you guys, it all has to work together. Just being completely serious. At the end of the day, faiths come from the cultures that they're from, and they mostly work together. Really, I love other cultures. Yeah, so I love them all. I love cultures as they are separated from their beliefs. I love learning about Indian, Middle Eastern cultures. For instance, the fact that like my dad has a very high percentage of Iranian. A lot of people say Iran or Iran. My dad has a high percentage of Iranian ancestry, Iranian, and then as well Iraqi ancestry. So for me, learning a lot about like that kind of region and their history, pretty important, because I used to think that in Iran, they only spoke Muslim. Or, sorry, not Muslim. That was a horrible thing to say. I only thought in Iran they spoke Arabic. Turns out, though, Persian history is very prevalent, like Zoroastrian history and stuff like that is very big in those places in the world. So learning about the different viewpoints and the histories that's pretty important. So I love cultures as well as learning about their belief systems. Yes, to everybody that might be boring about. Wait, are you Spanish? No, he's not Spanish. So basically what he's saying is to you, my friend Mehdi, you're welcome to be here, and we'd love talking with you, and you're welcome, and I respect you and appreciate you. But at the same time, what you can't be doing is saying that you hate other cultures or countries. Now, it's okay if you disagree with or have a problem with like violence happening in this world, but we can't have people on here commenting awful stuff like hating other places. We don't believe in that kind of stuff. Dr. Beast, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you for stopping through. I am about to be ending this stream, but you're more than welcome to tell me how you're doing today. Ask me anything you'd like to, or just talk about whatever. I know these streams go all over the place, so they're definitely not for everyone. I understand I might say some stuff that make people completely drop out of here. Maybe you watch me for hours and hours, but then you end up hearing me say something and you don't like it and you're out forever. Like, that's okay. That's your choice. You have Ingenious Ginger. I do not have that. That's a fragrance that I've heard of, and I'd like to check it out. I've heard of a lot of different fragrances recently that I didn't know about. And when you guys suggest stuff, by the way, please let me know if it's niche, expensive, cheap. Say those things for me so I can also know what kind of list I want to add them to, because I do have a difference in the list that I talk about or the list that I'm building. By the way, I know that the person, I'm pretty sure that they longed dropped out. Dude, it's so good. I'm going to check that out. I know that the person who earlier was talking about certain things have long not been here, but the Silver Oud by Amouage is sticking to me like super glue right now. Get Narcisista Rodriguez Vetiver Musk. That sounds fantastic. Niche from Goldfield and Banks. Well, again, thank you so much for suggesting that. And I'm Steve. Hello, Steve. Mehdi. But I literally put on one spray of that Silver Oud, and that's all I can smell in this entire room now. So just throwing that out there. If anybody is considering getting Silver Oud by Amouage, just be aware it is like an extremely ragingly strong fragrance that just goes and goes forever. Can you explain sillage versus longevity? I'm so tired of fragrance influencers saying it lasts all day. Paul Wilson, I absolutely. By the way, Mehdi, I love the Minecraft movie. It was super fun. But so to be honest, so sillage versus longevity. See, exactly like Redbeard said, sillage is the trail. Well, okay, projection and sillage is different. Projection is in any direction coming off of you, technically speaking, in fragrance language, whereas sillage is the trail. It's the French word for the fragrance trail left behind you as you walk away. So if I spray on, like I'm going to do a retouch of, even though it's absolutely powerful and I don't need to, when I put on Rose is Greedy by Mancera, this is a very powerful fragrance. When I'm walking, the smell coming off behind me is the sillage. That's what sticks to people's nose as I'm walking by. So longevity is how long a fragrance just literally lasts on you. So even as a skin scent, something can last 15 hours. Very rare fragrance does that, but if it does, that's sillage. No, sorry, that is not. That is longevity. Fragrance influencers telling you that things last forever, they're lying. They really don't. Mancera's like instant crush and stuff last extremely long times. Dior Sauvage Elixir lasts extremely long time, stuff like that. It comes off of you. Oud Silk Mood, Grand Soir, extremely long time. Initio Side Effect comes off of you very extremely long times, but a lot of fragrances really don't. And Mehdi, I hope you're having fun. Excuse me. Playing PlayStation. Allure Edition Blanche. Discount yesterday smells like citrusy key lime pie. That sounds fantastic. Great for the summer. I have a hard time. Well, I hope that you absolutely love that, and I hope it smells fantastic. Well, with that being said, like I said earlier, I am about to hop off here. So if anybody's got anything else they'd like to say before I go, again, I said this before, and I'm sticking to it right now. You guys are welcome to leave. If you start throwing hate, my buddy Redbeard's going to drop you out of here. But I decided, just being myself and being honest about who I am, I'm going to be praying at the end of all of my live streams. You guys can dip if you got to go. It's whatever. Like I see, I got 5 people watching right now. People keep dropping out. That's cool. I don't care. But I'm about to pray real quick before we go. If you disagree, if you got to get out of here, that's fine. If you want to be a part of it, even if we don't believe the same things, that's fine too. So Redbeard, give me the go ahead, and anybody else who's still here, the couple people who are still, if you're ready for that, if you're okay for that. If not, that's totally good. Anyway, I'm still going to do it. But just letting it be known, like I said, I'm about to end this stream, about to do my little thing. Going back to what you said about PDM, they make fantastic fragrances, but I also think they lack in performance. You're absolutely correct. Let it roll. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. PDM, perfumes de Marley's, do not perform anywhere near what you would like them to. They are very weak fragrances for what it's worth, because the price that you pay versus like how long they stay, especially newer formulations, it's just not something that you can appreciate. They just fail. Haltane is phenomenal, but I only get 6 hours. And you're right, bro. Legs again. Absolutely, absolutely. Euphrasia, I know that you are Hindu, so like I said, with all the love and appreciation, I'm about to do what I do. I'm about to end this with prayer, and I'm going to pray in the way that I do as a Christian. But again, I'm going to be addressing all of you guys who are watching. So if you don't want to stay, that's fine. But that's about how I'm going to end this. If you guys want to leave any comments and questions while I'm praying, you're more than welcome to do so. And while I'm praying real fast to end this, if you want to ask about fragrances, please feel free to do so. But I'm about to get started. Here we go. Dear God, my Father in heaven, thank you so much for another beautiful day of me getting to be alive. Thank you with all my heart for another beautiful day to be with these people here who have watched me talk about fragrances. I thank you for giving me the opportunities to even have a platform, however big or how small, to talk to anyone, even just one person, means the world to me. Everyone who has stopped through, everyone who's going to stop through in the future, they mean the world to me, and I pray for their peace. I pray for their harmony, their happiness. They're going to suffer. They're going to struggle. It's a part of being human. It's how we grow. Literally, for anyone who doesn't know, Israel even literally means and transfers into wrestling with God, to wrestle with God. We will tussle, we will struggle in this world, but that is what makes life beautiful. The pain, the darkness equals the beauty and the light. So I thank you, God, so much for this day. And I can't wait to see what you have in store for us next, and hope that we make the choices to follow that path the best that we can. So I just give my grace and gratitude up to you and ask for the same in return, just like the mercy and so forth. And it just means the world to me. So thank you for healing. Thank you for beauty. Thank you for perfumery. And thank you for all my friends here watching. And I pray to you in the name of Jesus for your love and your sacrifice and your honor. In your name, amen. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. So yeah, thank you guys for being here, for sticking around. Always welcome for the prayer. Always welcome for so much more. I really don't mind if longevity isn't as good as projection and the sillage sticks with it for a couple of hours. Okay, so you would rather have like decent sillage and projection than having something last an extremely long time. Hey, that's totally fine. That's actually what a lot of eau de toilettes are for as well. Something really good that you can have for a cheaper price that sticks to it, comes off of you but then fades pretty quickly, but you can travel around with a bag. Kind of like when I first got my hands on light blue, the Capri in Love. Honestly, it's an eau de parfum, and it actually does have incredible, like for a Dolce & Gabbana light blue, a lot of people hate on them for their performance. But in reality, the Eau Intense and this new Capri in Love performs like an absolute beast. Sticks around. I don't mean like it bleeds off you, like has insane sillage or nothing, but it does have really, really fantastic longevity, and I like that. I like being able to smell it on my skin throughout the day without having to completely reapply. But anyway, I am Andrew Douglas Lane, aka Douglas Moon. I appreciate you guys for being here, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. So goodbye. Thank you. Thank you so much. It wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you guys coming through here, and I will see you guys later. But seriously, thank you for being here and for watching. And I guess sooner or later, my wife is going to join these streams. But take care, guys.